Okay. Black man, white woman.
Let's see who we can piss off today.
Yeah, I wanna certain things I wanna ask you, talk to you about as a white woman. Can I say you're a middle-aged white woman?
Yeah, I just turned 40.
Oh, okay. All right then. All right, so there's certain things I want to ask you, and we're gonna get into it. Before I get into that, tell people who you are. What's your name?
Well, I'm a middle-aged white woman named Jennifer. I'm prior military. I'm a single mom of 4. I'm in school full-time and just trying to survive like everybody else, really.
Wow. So you are prior military.
Yes.
I want to talk about that later.
Okay.
But as of right now, okay, so let's just jump into it.
Yeah, hit me with it.
Feet first. How do you feel about the racial tension in America right now?
Well, naturally it bothers me. I think it's unnecessary, but I think it's heavily fueled by the government and the media, especially now. It needs to stop. And with all the stuff going on in Mount Laurel, you saw how many people showed up to that dude's house. He made a huge mistake giving his address. However, he got what he asked for.
Yeah.
But on the same note, if you looked at those videos and you saw the protests, people are angry with the police. They're angry at the wrong people. The police don't make the laws. The police don't, make decisions. They're doing their job. They weren't there to protect him. They were there to make sure that things didn't get out of hand on both sides. They're the middlemen. Where people need to fight their fight is voting, not for the president, but for, school boards.
Yeah.
Look at these kids that, are ethnic and they have to cut their hair because they're getting disqualified from wrestling and other sports. The police can't change that. But if you go to your local school board meetings, you can get that stuff changed. So I think it starts in your own community, and hopefully with what's going on next door, it'll make some positive changes around here, because there are certain areas that we live close to that there are issues with race, and a lot of police officers are known to pull over certain people of ethnicities in certain areas, and we need change, but we have to go about it a different way than what we've been doing.
So there's a lot you said there that I agree with. I kind of tend to stand on the side of protesting, but I believe that the protesting should have been a little bit different. Now, I don't agree with anybody using racial slurs. That's on both sides, whether it's black, white, it don't matter to me. But given that, so you can understand why people are upset.
Oh, absolutely.
But as an American, don't you kind of expect that now? Because from certain people, because if this was told to us for years and years and years and years that there's racist white people, there's racist white people, there's racist white people, shouldn't black people kind of expect this behavior from some people and just kind of ignore it? Or do you believe that it should be called out no matter what happens?
That's a good question. I kind of have multiple opinions. I can't speak for black males, and I can't speak for black females. I can only speak of,
Well, I'm saying from your.
So
and I don't want to put you in a situation where you sound like.
Oh no! Listen.
Like you sound like a racist.
No, listen. I'll give my background later. So I'm sure. Listen, somebody's always going to have something to say about something, and I'm sure there's going to be people commenting like, "Who is she? Or what does she know?" I'll explain my story a little bit later.
Yeah.
So I can relate on some aspects and not others, but to ask if it should be expected, nobody should expect it to be disrespected on a daily basis just for the color of their skin. So while yes, the world is changing and people are acting like, I won't say it on Facebook Live, but inappropriately, yes, expect it in a sense, but maybe a better word is learn how to deal with people that are like that are racist and whatnot. But no, I don't think somebody should have to wake up and say, hey, if Joe Schmo comes and he calls me the N-word or a monkey, then I should just let him get a free pass. No. But again, it goes back to where we're going to get real change. We can peacefully protest and we can go out and we can speak, but look what the media did with what was going on in Philadelphia, and that put a negative spin on the entire Black Lives Matter movement. And that's not fair. You know what I mean? So I think you have to expect things in a sense, but I think it's wiser to learn how to deal with people like that than...
Well, the funny thing is, you, as a Caucasian woman, you agree with certain things Black Lives Matter does, and you probably excited. I don't. As a black man, and I know people probably looking at the camera like looking crazy, because I put it to you like this: I hate when people put black people in boxes.
Yes, I agree.
What they call it, I don't know how to say that word. But anyway, I hate when they put us all inside of different categories instead of just letting us be individuals. Yeah. And that's my biggest problem with a lot of these people when it comes down to protesting. A lot of times we protest things and we don't really know why we're protesting. No. It's just like, okay, well, this leader. Guy said this and that and I feel that way and I'm angry about it and I'm gonna go. I get it, but sometimes I feel like the energy is directed towards the wrong situation. Like, okay, we know that guy, we know he's racist. Okay, big deal.
He's got a history, long one.
Yeah, if he got a history and he's racist, okay, yeah. And maybe he had it coming to him. Okay. But
he still should not have knocked on the door or done, he's at somebody else's home, so you can't justify that. You can be racist, you can be whatever you want in your own space. But when you bring that to the street or you bring that to somebody's home, you're taking it to another level, and action has to be made, because just like 1,000 people showed up at his house, what happens if he would have got 1,000 of his buddies and showed up at somebody's house? That's where a line has to be drawn. But you didn't explain why you don't support the Black Lives Matter movement. I think I understand why you do, because their initial mission, why they were started and created, has changed over the last couple years. But why do you not support them?
Because there's a couple of reasons why I don't support the movement. I'm put it like this: that's a genius quote. Because Black lives do matter. Like, let's just be clear. Black lives matter. But the reason why I don't support the organizations, because it's all a part of them being a part of something else to keep black people in a certain space.
Suppressed.
So suppressed or oppressed or angry. See, this is the thing that people got to understand. We've been dealing with this racial tension for years, but no one has ever came out and made a plan on how to make it better.
Agreed.
The reason why all of these people keep black people in the same space is because they know that if they can keep black people angry, they'll keep voting for a certain demographic. If they keep black people in this place, they'll keep doing this for a certain type of people, a certain type of politician. It's all a game. And everybody knows this. And I think a lot of black people...
But not everybody does know it. Because a lot of people, they say they're woke and this, that, and the other, but...
Well, the term woke now is just basically a trending topic now.
Yeah.
It's not how it used to be. Like, I remember when we used to say stay woke back maybe 5-10 years ago, and people used to laugh like, "Oh, what? You're a part of the Illuminati. You're crazy." But now it's like everybody's saying that they're woke. You got liberals, white liberals saying they're woke, like people who wrote bills that actually hurt the minority saying they're woke. like it's a big joke to me now. And it's like that's what it's all about. It's a joke now. It's not something where you actually can gain anything from it. And again, it's always the problem, but never the solution.
So as a black male living in 2021, what are some things that you think could be solutions, long-term solutions?
Teach children how to get along with other children and raise them that way.
Can I stop you there?
Yeah.
The problem isn't children. the reason I say this is because I have 4 children. I have a 21-year-old, a 17, a 4, and soon to be 3. When my daughter goes to Walmart or Target, she's got dark-skinned Barbie dolls, she's got light-skinned Barbie dolls, she's got Asian Barbie dolls. She loves them all the same. Children don't see those type of things. We teach them those type of things.
That's what I'm saying.
So it's somewhere in the house and in the home, but I don't think
kids are not the problem. And when I said teach, when I mean by teach, I don't mean that kids are the problem. I'm saying we need to teach children how to love people, period. Whatever ethnicity they are, it doesn't matter, because they're the future. See, right now things can't change.
No.
People are set in their ways. You got politicians that are 80, 60, 70. You think they're ever going to change? No. They're set in their ways.
We have to wait for their generation to pass on. I know that sounds morbid, but there's an entire generation that has a certain train of thought. And it's sad because in the healthcare community, you have a lot of Black aides and Black nurses that are dealing with this generation that's going through, dementia and Alzheimer's, and it's taking them back to a day and age that we no longer live in. So I think that too is bringing things up, especially for a lot of Black females in the healthcare industry. They have to hear that and listen to that daily. So they have to take their own personal from being a strong Black woman and how that word makes them feel to being a professional. So I think we are in a huge transition in the world, but like you said, I don't think things are going to change.
For me, certain things, I guess I have a different mind state, and I think that, and don't get me wrong, and this is how I feel about Black people in America as a whole. I think as a whole, most Black people in America are, I'm not going to say lazy, but we are indoctrinated to believe certain things.
I think you're indoctrinated.
You know what I'm saying?
To, like, I get what you're saying. The Black male is indoctrinated to...
Well, that's I'm talking about, okay, I'll put it to you like this. If there was a sheep herder and they pushed the sheep to go this way, most Black people go that way. And it's not because they kind of have to go that way. It's because they were trained to go that way. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, and that training not only came from a corrupt government, but it also came from broken homes, parents that don't know how to educate their children properly. And that's not just, a Black thing. It's
when you remove...
in general.
And and you're right. And I think that...
and I apologize, I'm going to interrupt. I think the destruction of the Black family has been going on for years in regards to the government, and I think it is imperative for any change in ways, that refer to racism or the success, Black male succeeding. Every Black home needs a strong Black male. There has to be a man in a home, whether you're white, Black, it doesn't matter. Most women are living unnaturally because they're raising men, and we're not men. We don't know how to do certain things. So I think that a major part of, getting past the things that have been going on for years is to start lifting up Black men, to put strong Black men in the home that are willing to, fight for their families and things like that. If you keep an entire race of all males down, what's that going to do? People that believe in evolution, we want to survive. That's our ultimate goal. But if you're suppressing an entire species, if you will, however you want to put it, are they going to succeed? No, because ultimately they're taking the Black male from the Black man, which is taking the Black man from the Black woman, which she needs to run her home properly. So when I see you say all this stuff about, you have a lot to say about Black women, I almost feel like you're kind of part of the problem sometimes. Listen, I'm just keeping it real. No. You can't fault.
I am a part of the problem.
You are. and you also can't fault a woman that doesn't have the proper man to follow.
Well, okay, so, I guess I got to rebuttal all that.
Sorry, but, I know we've been talking a lot.
It's fine.
But do you understand what I'm saying? I think
do.
The government, whoever you want to call it, they are keeping key pieces that young Black males need to succeed in life, and they're doing it on purpose. And like you said, I wouldn't go so far to say that, most Black people are lazy, because I disagree.
No, well, I'm not saying that.
But I think that when you've been suppressed and oppressed for so long, you start to run out of ideas. And what do you expect black males in Chicago to do when they are forced to be put in survival mode? You're going to do whatever you have to do to protect people. You know what I mean? Right?
Here's my thing, and here's where I think that we kind of differ. All right, so I'm gonna start with. I guess I'm gonna start with the end and go backwards.
We should have had a notebook.
So no, it's fine. I can remember.
No,
all right, so with in regards to Chicago, right? Here's the thing about young black men. Very impressionable.
Yes.
Right? Now, people could say, oh, well, where does that come from? Where does that come from? There's layers to it, right? But let's be clear. You do not have to do any of that anymore in America.
I disagree.
There's no such thing as survival mode in America.
I disagree.
Because you have the same opportunities that everyone has. You just have to go about it the right way. There's no one in Chicago you can tell me that doesn't have access to education and getting themselves, especially when it comes to phones. You have access to getting educated and educating yourself to becoming either an entrepreneur or even just getting yourself out of that situation. Most black men like to be in the streets. Now, there is a reason why that is. Because I'm an artist, hip-hop artist. Most hip-hop music from back in the early 90s on indoctrinated these kids and made it cool to be in the street.
Okay.
Let me finish, right? So, this is the reason why a lot of black men believe that the streets is cool. And some of them don't want to ever leave the streets because I know there are videos on YouTube right now where there are black men in Chicago. Dude says, so you ever thought about leaving Chicago? Nah, I can. I got a degree. But I'm going to die here. This is where I want to be. So you have people who literally believe that it's cool to die in the streets. Now, get to the black woman. Back in the early 60s or even before the 60s, when they created the laws, welfare state and all that, when they typically removed the black man from the home. And that's where it started at. The reason why I'm so hard on black women now, because they do not represent black men. You don't see an abundance of black women representing black men. This is why I'm so hard on black women, because I love black women, but I don't feel the same coming back from them. They don't represent me. Every black woman that I know or I'm friends with, they either having problems with their man, going through a situation, but I don't have no black female friends that represents her man. And if she do, she probably don't talk to me, but that's the problem when it comes down to it. They don't represent us. Now, as a white woman, I can tell you there are thousands of white women who represent their man. They stand up. Asian women represent their man. Whatever ethnicity represents their man. Black women don't. And that's why I'm so hard on black women.
And why do you think black women, why do you feel that black women don't represent their men?
Because they are stuck in this age now where they feel as though that they have to protect themselves from being hurt. And I get it. A lot of black men did some things to them, but at the same time, some of them use that. They use that as a weapon against black men. Or they use it they use the term single as is basically a gift to them, because now they can deal with whoever and whenever and do whatever they want, whenever they want to do it, and you can't say nothing to them. Because the major problem with black women that I came across is they don't like to be in a position where the man is in the dominant position.
Do you think that has to
They want to be equal, and you can't be equal in a relationship. I'm sorry.
I agree with that, but do you think the reason why, and I don't want to say most because I don't, I don't think that most black women think that way, but do you feel that black women have, I don't want to say a superiority, complex, but do you feel that because they've been the head of so many broken homes for so long without black males, that they feel that they deserve more?
But they actually wasn't never the head of broken homes.
How many women do you know, single moms?
The reason why I'm saying, listen, this is why I'm saying this. There's a lot of reasons why they're not head of broken homes. The welfare state and the government put them in that position. They're not the head. The head is the welfare state. It ain't them.
Well, that's the supplier if you really want to go there.
But
what else is a woman supposed to do if you're raising children by yourself? And listen, I
stick it out with your man. Stand with your man. You tell the government, no, I'm not gonna remove my man from the home. He's the reason why I want to raise my children. This is the reason why you have a lot of young black. And don't get me wrong.
But that implication is saying that black women should deal with everything.
They should.
But they shouldn't.
The same way we should. The same way men should deal with everything that we go through with them. They have to deal with the same thing.
Okay, but what
now I'm talking about on the terms of good men. I ain't saying that.
Okay.
I'm not saying that. Whenever I say stuff like that, people got to understand. I'm saying on the terms of good people and good men.
I think you need to elaborate that because I listen, and I'm keeping it real. And the reason why I'm asking you about black women is because you do come off that you have this pardon me, but a stick up your butt about black women because it's always black hoes, black this, and it's like if a black woman is your queen, you have to start.
A black hoe would never be my queen.
I'm not saying a hoe.
But you just said hoe.
I know, but I'm saying because that's how you. What do you have nice to say about black women? Let me hear something nice.
So you follow me on Facebook?
Sometimes.
But see, here's the thing. Most people don't look at the nice things you say.
Okay,
but plenty of nice things I said.
Listen, I agree with you.
I have a whole list of the most beautiful black women, the top 25 beautiful women on Facebook, and 99% of them are black.
Smash the rest of black women into this bubble, and it doesn't fit.
I don't smash black women. I smash hoes and women that don't represent black men.
But they are not real women, so why are you even giving them any consideration?
Wait, say it again?
I said they're not even real women, so why would you give them consideration? If it's not somebody that you would bring home to your mom or somebody that you would let
because
run
they're
your
the
home.
problem.
But they're not the problem. The problem is that you're focusing on thoughts and hoes when you should be focusing on queens.
Okay,
women
you're
that
right.
are,
No, you're right. You're right. It's the same, and I hate to point the finger. But in this situation, I kind of got to.
We all.
It's the same when women say men are no good.
Some men are no good.
See? Some women are hoes.
Listen, you have... It is... I know, but...
What's the difference?
Listen, you're always going to have hoes and thoughts and everything else.
And you're always going to have men that ain't no good.
Exactly, and you're going to have good cops and bad cops. And you're going to have good people, good white people and bad white people, and the same for black people and everything else. Yeah. Maybe part of our problem as a society is we're focusing on the bad and the negative, and we need to... Listen, who do black women have as a role model? As in
what?
Listen.
Well, you want me to tell you?
No, can I finish my question?
Go ahead.
Because look, I can easily pick 20 people off of TV, social media, or whatever, but I'm talking within their own communities. Yeah. I have a wonderful support system and group of friends, and we're all different ethnicities. But when it comes to the black woman, you can't put her down and, she's a thought and she's a hoe. They're in survival mode. Would you want to be? Would you want to be a black woman in today's day and age with a single, by yourself with kids?
Absolutely.
What?
Yes. Oh. I would rather be a black woman in America than a black man right now.
Oh, see, I
would rather. All right. So look, I'll put it to you like this. Let's just give it to you like this. Black women. I'm gonna say women in general.
Okay.
Say white women and black women. Let's say women in general.
Okay.
Women in general have much more of a support system than men do in this country.
I agree.
Every talk show is what? You see any men talk shows?
No.
No. Every talk show is what? The View. Steve Harvey. What did he do? What does Steve Harvey do?
He makes errors on live television.
Yeah, he does. You know what else he does?
Comedy.
He talks down on black men.
He does do that. I've noticed that. Even on Family Feud, I've noticed him do that.
You see? And he's very sexist, too. Very sexual, I should say. But that's another story. But anyway, right? The point I'm making is, there's no representation for black men, and there's really no representation for men. The reason why there's no representation for white men in America is because they basically saying that white men control everything. right?
They do. They're
Which I
part of the
disagree
1%.
with.
Yeah, but if you look at the 1%, how much of the 1% is minority?
Mhm.
Not many.
But do you have to be a part of the 1%?
No.
There's billionaires that are a part of 1%.
No, not at all.
So why does that matter?
But the people that run things are
They don't
primarily white.
Yeah, but they don't really run. See, here's the problem that I think
I
people
keep
got
wanting to touch it. We're going like all over the place.
It's fine. That's fine. We could go all over. That's the whole reason why we're here. We can talk about whatever.
We're gonna drive people nuts. Does anybody watch it?
I don't. Yeah, it
Are
doesn't
they?
matter. Whatever.
No, because we need to talk about these things. I think.
No, we gonna come back to it. We gonna do what your girls
what?
Jin Saki say. Circle back to it, right? So look, right.
Oh wait, hold on.
1%.
Wait a minute, because you said something about the masculinity.
Yeah.
They are trying to take masculinity from all men.
Yes.
Black, white, Asian,
Yes,
Hispanic.
yes.
They're taking masculinity from men and they're giving it to women.
Yeah.
Read the Bible. It says, there's
So
a lot of things.
let me ask you that, because that's a very interesting thing you brought up.
And I apologize.
Right.
I didn't mean to
No,
interrupt,
that's
but you
all
brought
good.
up
No,
masculinity.
it's all good.
So
How do you feel about? Well, I'm gonna put it to you like this, because I'm not gonna ask you how you feel about transgenders.
you can.
Right? Well, that's too much of a simple question, because most people are gonna say, "Well, it don't bother me," but I'm gonna ask you this, and I'm gonna ask you in a certain way because I want to see how you really said what you.
Okay.
So if someone's a transgender, that's transitioning, let's just say a man,
Okay.
who says he's a woman, right? And you can't question this person. You can't say anything. That same man, that same biological man who says they're a woman, so let's say you're a transgender woman, goes to a spa, and there's a female side, and there's a male side. And that same transgender man identified as a woman and goes on a side with the women when there are kids there. And he has his penis out and everything out. How would you explain that to your child?
Well, I wouldn't take my child into, especially my daughter, I wouldn't take her into a unisex bathroom.
Well, it's not a unisex bathroom.
Well,
there's no, listen, in
so
America,
it's
there's
not
no,
you
there's
got
no
these
unisex
transgender
bathroom.
bathrooms now. Like if you go to Target, there's a bathroom for one for men, one for women, and then there's one for both. It's like the symbol is.
But what I'm
man and
saying to you
woman
is,
together.
in a spa, there's
no.
only two sides. Okay, no, you know what? I'll even go with your argument. Let's just say there is a unisex or transgender side, but you can't stop that transgender person who identifies as that gender to stop going into that other one. You can't.
Well,
so
they're
how
not
would you
the problem,
feel?
though.
How is that not the problem?
They're not the problem. Me having an issue with someone having a penis in the bathroom is my problem.
So wait a minute.
So, hold on. You asked me a question.
Yeah.
Let me finish. So it's my problem. I'm not going to get my camera out, turn it on, and start, running my mouth. I'm going to get my child and I'm going to walk out of the bathroom and go somewhere else. Because here's the thing. I don't care who you have sex with. I don't care. You could identify as a dog or an alien. That's cool. Respect. It always has to be present. There's an issue at my son's school, believe it or not, recently with all the transgender kids and stuff coming out. This is going to go on to like a whole bunch of things.
Let me just answer that real quick before you say that. Before you go on, because I kind of got that.
But you get what I'm saying. Like, it's my problem. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. But
wait a minute.
Go ahead.
Jen, how is it your problem?
Because I'm the one that has the issue.
When society, for years, has told you that there are two genders. There's a male side and a female side.
But there's a difference.
Wait a minute.
There's a difference between sex and gender, so you're wrong right now.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
We're going off of male and female.
Okay, but is that sex or gender? Because sex and gender is two different things.
If you were born with a male part, you are a male.
You
can't have a child, you're a male.
Yes.
Right? So I'm saying, how is it that that's your fault or your problem, or you should be respectable when this guy is just identifying as something? He's actually not that. I identify as a millionaire. Am I a millionaire? No. I identify as a cat. Am I a cat? No. I identify as that camera. Am I that camera? No. I'm a human. I'm a man. Now, you might not like it. I might not like it. But guess what? I'm still a man. to that child.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. So how is it that there's no way you're telling me that man who identifies as a woman should be able to go into a female spa in front of a child who identify. You know,
I get what you're saying, and listen, no, I do not agree, and I don't think that should be able to happen. However, it is, and whether I like it or not, we have to accept and respect it. I'm not going to be one of these Karens or whatever, on a video.
So let me ask you this,
Go
right?
ahead.
Let me ask you this, right? Because.
And mind you, my brother is transgender.
And that's not wrong. Listen,
My sister.
it's nothing wrong with being transgender. I'm not saying that you can't be whatever you want.
No, your issue is like the bathroom.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, and this is so. If I feel like if I was a white guy and I felt as though that a black person was beneath me, am I right for that?
Yeah, but you just like switched the.
Well, no, it's the reason why I'm asking you that.
Having to do with transgenders in the bathroom?
Reason why I'm asking you that.
Okay, say it one more time. As a white
man,
mm-hmm.
If I felt as though that black people were beneath me, am I okay with that? Are you okay with that? Yes or no?
I am not okay with that.
Okay, all right. So my point to you is, just because people feel a certain way, you can't change how you feel because they feel that way.
And I would never change how I feel, but what I'm doing is I'm adapting to changes in society.
How are you adapting?
By walking I can make the choice to go into a unisex or a transgender.
Why can't they adapt to you? Why do you have to adapt to them? No, they haven't. They haven't. Listen. A transgender man hasn't adapted. If you're a transgender man and you walking in a bathroom, adapting would be if you are. I'll put it to you like
adapting is creating bathrooms a safe place for transgenders to go to the bathroom, and that's what they're trying to do. I do think that there's going to be some sickos that are going to take it.
I'm saying
no, but I'm just saying, bathroom, spa. Okay, well, they shouldn't be naked in front of kids. Why are kids at a spa? But no, I get what you're saying, but
it's not fair.
It's not fair, and life is not fair, and it's just like I can take it back to that dude in Mount Laurel. No, I don't agree with what he did, and and whatnot. Do I think he should have got his ass kicked and killed and whatever? No, because I think he needs to be made an example of. I think that he needs to be...
But does he have a right to say that?
He has a right to think and feel and believe whatever he wants inside his four walls. But the minute that you take that out and you go over to somebody's house and you start calling them, I don't even want to say it, the N-word and primates, that's
exactly my point.
And so again... Feel whatever you want. You can listen. I don't care. Some people look at me and they don't like me because I'm a white female with blonde hair. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You can feel and believe and have whatever views you want. But the minute that you bring that out and you disrespect other people, that's when there's a problem. Listen, he could hate black people till the cows come home.
Yeah.
Why do you have to air it out? Why do you have to tell somebody? Why do you have to tell your black neighbor that he's a primate and just going off all this stuff? It's unnecessary. Keep your views to yourself.
It's the same thing as if you are gay or transgender telling me that I have to accept. Or if you're gay and you telling me about that you're gay, I don't need to know that. Why do I need to know you're gay?
So then why do I need to know that you're a heterosexual black male?
I don't tell nobody that. We don't.
Well, no, but I'm just saying. You talk about females like the way you present yourself on Facebook, and you can tell that you're a heterosexual black male. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like women.
No, I know. I'm not doubting that. Don't get all don't get all tizzy. I mean, no, but what I'm saying is, we are screwing ourselves up.
Yeah.
We're segregating ourselves by putting each other. LGBT. I don't even know the whole thing, to be honest with you. I respect them. I don't. I run my home a certain way. That's what I'm concerned with. The problem is. And it has nothing to do with whether you're gay, whether you're straight or anything. We need to stop sexualizing things in general. We are sexualizing our children. Yeah. These moms that have, booty shorts and thigh eyes on their toddlers disgust the hell out of me.
I got a question for you.
So we need to stop sexualizing any, things in general, not just gay or straight or whatever. Women sexualize themselves.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
Right? I got a question for you. So, and this, I guess, and I promise this will be the last question about this, right?
Go ahead.
Right? So let me ask you something, right?
All right.
So you got daughters?
I have one daughter.
You have one daughter. How old
3 sons. She's 2.
All right. So let's just fast forward to see your daughter's 15. No, let's say she's 10. Right?
Can we go back to 15?
Right? right? Let's say she's 10.
All right.
And she come home and she's crying. She's holding her face and you're like, what's wrong? And she says, oh, I was at school and they let the boys use the bathroom with me. How would you feel about that?
Well, for
because
starters,
because that 10-year-old said that he's a transgender.
but I teach my children, mind you, I told you I have a 21, a 17, 4 and 3, well, soon to be 3. I've had issues at a local high school with both of my children when they started changing things over and allowing transgender students.
So you had an issue with it?
Oh, yeah, my son was almost charged with harassment of a transgender.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this, I've never been more proud of my child because... long story short, he goes to a local high school. Well, he went to a couple years ago. He graduated, and it was around the time when they started allowing transgenders to pick which locker rooms they wanted to go in, and they were making, bathroom accommodations. As I said, my brother is transgender. He was born a male, and it's now my sister. I respect the fact that...
Did he have the surgery?
I've never asked because it's none of my business. I mean, I've wondered, I think it's, human nature to be curious, but I've never asked. But she identifies as a woman. She's beautiful. I could show you a picture and you would never even know she was a female. But
I'm good with the radar. I'm trying to tell you.
So anyways, my son and his buddies were walking through the hall and somebody said, asked the same question. I guess it's like a male thing. They asked, does she still have, and they said a not so nice word. And my son replied, no, she still has her penis. Okay. My son got in-school suspension for 3 days for harassment of a transgender because a teacher was walking behind and heard, the conversation. And because my son said she has a penis, they made an example out of him.
But this is what I'm saying now.
But I didn't finish where he was. So anyways,
go ahead,
and then we'll go that. So they made an example. Man, I was ready to go down to the police. Like the police were involved.
Yeah.
Like it was a big thing. I was ready to call all my veterans organizations, the news stations, because not my child,
pull out
not
the big guns,
not my son. And my son looked at me and he said, "Mom," he goes, "I'm not going to snitch on my friends because they're pulling the kids. You know how school works." He says, "I'm not going to snitch on my friends. I don't want you to go into mom mode and, just leave it be. I'll do the 3 days. I'll eat it and go on." And I cried.
Prison.
But here's the thing, but that hurt me. But I had to respect my son's, wishes because he is older. He's getting older and he has to make his own choices. So we've had that conversation in my home. And believe it or not, my 17-year-old is extremely uncomfortable with it. It's something that he has a major issue with, and it's one of the main reasons why he doesn't want to get changed in the locker room.
Well, you see, and that's my issue with that, right? It seems like now, and I guess we could get off this, but it seems like now when people say the truth, people take it as being disrespectful.
Yes, because the truth hurts, and not a lot of people want to eat that. So
I get that, but I don't know.
But again, even though I don't agree with something, doesn't mean that I have to point it out or I have to record it or I have to make a stink or I have to make a funk. That dude in Mount Laurel, he could be racist, have, KKK or whatever all up in his house. But the minute you walk out that door, you are a part of society. You are a part of, we are America, we are the melting pot. We are supposed to be diverse and we're supposed to accept everything, but yet we are the most judgmental society I've ever experienced. And we look down upon, communism and Cuba and, North Korea. They're running things a hell of a lot better than we are over here.
No,
we are
not.
Listen, on some aspects,
you
aspects,
don't want to be a part of that.
Well, no, I'm not saying, that's dramatic. But what I'm saying is we're the laughing stock of the world.
Well, I'll tell you why.
Do you know why we are?
Why?
I'm asking, do you know why we are the laughing stock?
You asking me that?
Yes.
We're not.
Why do you think that?
We're the greatest country in the world. And I'm explaining to you why.
Yes, please, right? Because after the conversations we've had, how are we the greatest country in the world?
Because we have diversity. They don't. We have a democracy. They don't. Hold up, let me finish.
Okay.
We have 2 political parties. They don't. They have a dictatorship. Hold up, let me finish.
But here you're talking about democracy. At the rate we are going, how long do you think our democracy is going to last? Because I say, look, I'm like sweating. I say within the next 10 years, there will be
full dictatorship.
There will be no
Absolutely
democracy,
not.
and this pandemic is a way to get those wheels rolling. So
Listen.
we are not the greatest.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
We are not.
I'm gonna tell you
we'll
right now.
We'll disagree there.
Hold up, let me finish because you ready to disagree and I ain't even finished my point.
Because what you said.
Hold
is
up,
very
hold up.
off.
Listen, right? There's a couple of reasons why.
We're no different than some of those communist countries.
Why not?
Because of what you just stated earlier about how the government
There has to be.
But wait, you just said earlier in our discussion, you said that the government has forced black women to be on the system. But it's a great country, right?
Yeah. But wait a minute.
What kind of country forces their people into...
There's a such thing. It's called a gift and a curse, right?
Okay.
There's no country like America.
No.
Right? Why you think most people want to come here? Why do you think
because there's a thing with America that you can.
You think there's just a thing?
I know there's just a thing. Am I still in the room?
I'm saying. Look, I'm saying the reason why, and let me explain why I believe America is great.
Okay.
And all the countries are not. I'm gonna say why America is still in the lead. It's a couple of reasons why. There are bad things in America.
Mm-hmm. Bad things everywhere.
They're necessary, what they call necessary sacrifices. Every black man, every black woman in America could become anything they want. You can't stop that. In other countries, you can't do that.
I agree to an extent.
You cannot become anything you want in other countries. You actually have to do with, not all countries, but the majority of them, you have to do what they tell you only can do.
And a lot of those countries are based on like extreme religious type of things. However,
but you can't succeed to the point you can in America, though.
Okay, so what you're saying is that the higher ups in America, they provide the black male and the black female with the tools that they need to succeed and be any and everything they want in life. You are wrong.
Yes. Tell me how.
How can you say that?
Tell me how. Look, listen, I got a friend. He's black.
Okay.
He got 2 degrees. I got another friend. What you mean? That you're telling me that they don't provide the tools?
But I'm saying a degree.
He has
somebody
2
can
master's
have
degrees,
but still be a moron.
But he has 2 master's degrees.
Okay, so he has master's degrees.
I'm saying to you, saying that he's black.
Yes, and what I'm saying is
there was a black president.
Yes.
How many black athletes are there? How many black doctors are there?
What tools is America giving the average black male and black female to succeed in this country?
What do you mean?
Don't contradict yourself, because you just said they're forcing black women on the system.
No, I said, no, you gotta get my words right. I said that back in the 60s with the welfare state, they forced black men out the homes.
Yes, which
and
has
the system
trickled
took
down
care of
to
them. Yes.
2021.
Yeah,
it's still going on.
I'm saying, but 2021 in the 60s is totally different. You don't need the system anymore. No one. Who needs the system right now? You telling me that people need the system?
Yes, the people that need the system are the people that came from homes where they were not taught how to go and get a phone and educate themselves.
Really? You telling me that there's no outlets for people to learn anything?
No, I'm not saying that.
I'm saying
for a person to have that in their head that like, hey, I can do anything, I can be anything. We don't teach our kids that anymore. I'm sure when you grew up, your mom and dad said you could be anything you want. You could be president, you could be this, that, and the other. We have changed drastically in the way that we raise our children, but you can't. No one is given the tools to succeed in certain areas.
I'm saying. There's no one in America, black or white, telling their kids that they can't succeed.
I'm not saying no one, but I'm saying it's not the normal. It's not the norm. How many parents and moms, especially moms, and I'm sorry, the women are going to hate me for this one. How many moms do you see on here doing these TikToks where they're twerking and they have their daughters with no bra on and
I'm saying you can't blame America for that.
Yes, I can, because guess what? America
should stop that?
America should teach women how to be women.
This is my point that I'm trying to make.
But it is because, and listen, the reason why I say it is America, because guess what? What's on the TV screen, what's on your phone screen, what's on everything. And if you have your mother is hoeing you out, and you're 16 years old, and your mom's taking you to the bar, what's that 16-year-old girl going to do when she has a child? She's going to repeat the process and do it all over again. That cycle has to be broken.
Can I respond to that?
In a minute. That cycle has to be broken. And what you said about the 60s with black women being forced, single black women to be on the system, they're still doing it today. They're trying to do it with the COVID. So to say that we're the land of opportunity and the land of the free and brave, we're not, Maurice.
Can I rebuttal to that?
Yes, but can I just say first that I wish a black female could call in because I know you got a lot heated up right now. You got me heated. I'm like sweating.
Listen. I'm saying, right? Check this out. Mm-hmm. Here's the reason why. Everything you said is the reason why America's so great. Because they don't have to listen. No, don't make your face like that. Don't make your face like that.
America is great. Listen, I don't want people thinking I'm it is great, but it's got its problems.
It does. Every country do, but I'm the reason. Here's what I'm saying to you, and I think this is very important. Everything you said is absolutely right. Mm-hmm. They can do that. They have the opportunity and the judgment or whatever you want to call it to do that. They can do it. That's what's great about America. Is you can twerk.
So the opportunity.
Wait a minute. Let me finish. No,
I'm just want to make sure I understand. So the thing that's great about America is the opportunity to do whatever you want or be whatever you want.
The thing about America that makes America so great is you have the opportunity to be a twerker, right? You can be a twerker, and you cannot teach your kids. Mm-hmm. You have that, but there's another side.
Yes, there's always
which means you don't have to do that.
You're right.
Right?
You're right.
And you can actually be better.
I agree.
So my point to you is...
I agree because I'm part of that in regards to your great country that you love so much.
But I'm saying my point to you is you can hate America. I'm not saying you do.
I don't hate
I'm saying,
it.
listen,
I'm not saying I definitely don't hate it.
I'm not saying you do. I'm saying just in general.
Yeah.
You can hate America. You can love America. But you have that opportunity to do that. In other countries, you don't have that.
You're right. And I agree 110% that you do have that opportunity.
So should you?
I agree that you do have that
should
opportunity.
You? Listen, that's my question.
I'm going to get there. Listen, you're right. You do have that opportunity. However, I can give you an acre beachfront property, tell you that you can build a house there. I'm not giving you shovel. I'm not giving you lumber. I'm not giving you rebarb. I'm not giving you anything that you need to build that house. A child that comes from generations and generations and generations of suppression and oppression, they haven't the slightest clue how to get some wood, how to get, they don't know to go set up a lemonade stand or to mow some lawns. That's your job as a middle-aged black man in America is to teach this generation that doesn't have fathers and really doesn't have mothers either. So yes, saying, while we're the land of opportunity, we still need tools, and our government is not supplying us
what I'm
with
saying, people are following the wrong people.
Oh,
There are a lot of successful black men in America that should be followed,
and like you said, we had a black president.
I'll put it to you like this: you know who most young black men role models are? Rappers.
Yeah. Which nowadays.
So if you're following a rapper. It said a Thomas Sowell, but you're following a rapper, right? Mm-hmm. Instead of, I'll use somebody even recent, Kwame Brown. Okay. Instead of Kwame Brown, you're following a rapper.
So why are those children idolizing?
Because
they don't have a black male to tell them who these successful black males are.
Yeah. So we want to play that game going down generation to generation.
It does, and it has a huge effect.
That's true,
really
and I can agree with
does.
that. But at the same time, whenever you are presented something from someone who claims they're your friend, but they're telling, like, for example, if you're presented, and I don't want to put this on Democrats because I'm trying to stay away from that, but I'm just going to say, if the Democrats are presenting, if they're telling you this beautiful lie, they're saying, oh, you live in the hood, just vote for us. You can't name me one hood.
I just did that.
Right? You can't name me one hood in New Jersey that didn't vote for Democrats that looks prosperous.
I didn't vote. So
I'm
I
not
can't
saying
tell
you didn't.
No, I know,
but
me
But the point I'm making to you is we're putting the wrong people in power.
And that's what I said in regards to this fool over in Mount Laurel. Go to your school board meetings. Go to your town hall meetings. But here's the thing. I have an issue going to a basketball game or a volleyball game and I see a referee giving, an ethnic child shit because they have their hair. Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. My bad. Giving a child and, that whole thing.
Yeah.
If you get enough parents to go into a school board meeting, you can change the dress code. Yeah. Not of just your school, but possibly the whole state. Who's out here really trying to make change? Because I'm sorry, going to that dude's house to smash his windows and all that,
They didn't smash the windows, did they?
Oh yeah, they tore up his house and the
Really?
neighbor's house. Yeah, they were throwing cups and all kinds of stuff.
I didn't know they tore up his house.
Yeah, which
I
mean, he asked for it, so he got what he wanted. But anyways, that's a whole other subject. But I forget what I was even talking about. Yeah,
school board.
Yeah, but go to the school board. It has to start within your town. I'll tell you right now, the town that I live in, New Jersey, my children are part of the minority, and I moved there because of the educational system, and that's it. My children are mixed. They're half.
They're a black man.
They're half Spanish. They're Puerto Rican, Irish, and
German. Never dealt with a black man?
No, I have never been with a black
Oh,
man, and
no.
I knew that was coming. Have you ever been with a white woman?
Oh no.
Yeah, so
that's why he's coming.
So hey, we don't what?
Okay.
I didn't know that. no, but no, I have never been with a black man.
Really?
No, I'm surprised you've never been with a white woman because the way that you present listen, the way that you present yourself in regards to black women, I thought you dated white women.
I love black women.
You got to.
I never dated. It's alright.
But you need. I think you have a lot of good points to say. I think often there's a couple people on the Facebook groups that we're in that I think you're misunderstood because of the way that you try to present yourself. If somebody doesn't really know you and they're just watching maybe one of these, they're gonna be like, "Damn, he hates black women."
I'm a spark conversation type of person.
Are we going off subject again?
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm one of those type of people that spark conversation.
Me too. We both talk a lot.
As far as me never dealing with, it just never happened.
Have you? But why? Like, I think
why it never happened with a white woman?
Yeah, because I think there's a difference between preference and like a type of person. Like you can have a certain type.
It just never happened for me. Because it just never happened. That
is not an answer.
Really?
Yeah,
well, I never got into a situation where I was dealing with talking to a white woman and we dated.
Is there qualities about a white woman that
all women are the same to me?
All women are the same to you.
They're beautiful.
Okay.
That's it.
So you prefer a black woman?
Do I prefer? Yes, I prefer.
Why do you?
I prefer a black woman over any woman.
Why is that?
Because I like dark skin.
Like dark skin.
Now, that doesn't mean that I wouldn't date any woman.
But your preference is?
My preference is dark women.
So real dark. Women and I hate this because I see it in the Spanish community. They call Puerto Ricans, they come in all shades. I have a ginger, but then I have somebody that looks like they came just right off the island. Yeah. But there's this stigma against people with lots of melatonin. In Puerto Rico, they call negro. That's and it's like almost mocked and laughed upon. It's almost like there's a problem or there's something wrong with someone being too dark. So I actually find I like that you like darker women because I think darker women and darker men don't get, I think they get treated a certain way and they get prejudice within their own black community.
But again, it doesn't mean I wouldn't date a white woman.
I wouldn't not date a black man. I just like you. I have a preference for Hispanics.
There you go. So you said
but here's the thing. But I'll take it a little bit deeper, and I'll take it to some topics that we've talked online. There is a reason why I won't date certain types or certain genres of men, and that is 100% preference. Do you feel that? How do you feel about a black man and a white woman having a child and having a mixed child? What do you like? What are your thoughts on interracial, children? Not necessarily the dating, but the children aspect.
Eventually, that's what's going to happen. Eventually, there's going to be no such thing as race anymore in the next, especially in America.
I agree. I think if a lot of these KKK people actually did genealogy tests, they would crap their pants because nobody. We're all mixed. We're all mixed with something.
I'll put it to you like this. I'm gonna tell you what I have a problem with, and it's really not kids. And you're gonna probably laugh, but this is funny, right? Right. I don't have a problem seeing black men with white women. I have a problem seeing.
Some people do.
I have a problem seeing white men with black women.
What?
I do.
I have a friend, and she has a beautiful family. She's a black woman. She's got a white husband, and
I have a major problem with that.
But hold on, because we're gonna get back to that. you don't have a problem
with seeing black men.
No, with seeing black
women.
men with white women,
women.
but you have a problem with black women being with white men. Why?
One of the major reasons why is because black women tend to treat other races differently when they're in a relationship.
Elaborate, please.
You don't never see a black woman talking down to her white husband, calling him all types of names, saying he's weak, saying he's inferior.
But not all black women do that in
I'm not
general.
I'm saying most of the black women that you see that are in relationships with black men, a good percentage of them, not all of them.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying.
But you don't never see that from any other culture when black women dating white men, Asian men, whatever men. They put them on a pedestal. That's why I have a problem with that.
I'm not familiar with that, I guess. I disagree. I think that women are, like, you know, they're trying to take the masculinity away from men, but they're putting women in a tough situation. We are, I mean, look at the Kardashians and all that other stuff, you know, they're teaching women to sexualize themselves, have, you know, TNA out and all this stuff. And they're teaching women that a man ain't nothing unless he gives you something, which I can't stand. That's why I like the whole your simp videos and everything, you know, it gets me going. But women have a huge misconception of what a real woman is and what a woman should be. And again, it goes back to what people are taught in the home. We can't expect people to know this is the land of, you know, freedom and opportunity if they're not taught that.
Should a woman know her place?
Absolutely.
Yeah, wow.
Absolutely. But
that,
see, I'm
you
also
really mean that.
no, I do, because I don't have an issue with, you know, interracial dating, but what I do have a problem with is children. I have a problem. That sounded so horrible. I have a problem with mixed children that are not taught where they come from.
Yeah.
I think that it's an afterthought when it comes to interracial, you know, relationships, and when they have children. It's really hard for mixed kids. Really hard. They don't, you know, they're going to get crap from the black community and white community, and, you know. Well, see,
nowadays, here's the reason. One of the major reasons why you get a lot of issues that people have with mixed kids is because people are savages, number one. And number two, now you have black people saying, remember before, I don't know if you remember this, but before, if you had a white mother or a black mother, anything black, you're black.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I'll give you a perfect example of why that doesn't apply to people anymore. So there's a rapper called Logic.
Okay, yeah.
He is a black parent, but they say he's white. Drake.
Who says he's white? The black community? Okay,
right?
Why does the black community
because he looks white, right? Even though he's mixed, Drake has a black parent, right? Yeah. He says nigger and everything. Nobody says that to this guy.
But who says he is white? The black community again. Why?
Well, they say Drake's black.
But
my
they?
point, I'm saying consensus wise.
The black community considers Drake white. The black community considers Logic white.
No. The black community considers Drake black.
Oh, okay.
And they consider Logic white.
How's
even
that?
though, because
that doesn't make much sense.
Because it's how they come off.
What do you mean? Is there like
Logic comes off? He looks like a white boy, even though he's mixed. He does.
Okay.
Right? You look mixed.
I look mixed. I look white. I got blonde hair and green eyes. What are you talking about?
What do you mean? There's black people with blonde hair and green eyes in Africa.
That's what I'm saying. But what I'm gonna get at, and I'm gonna stop you because I know whoever's listening, if there is anybody, you kind of put the black community down a little bit sometimes. Because, like, why are you worried? Who cares if this man thinks, if he is black?
No, it was the point I was making. The point I was making was that nowadays, the reason why I said that is because nowadays, it's people, if they want to say that before it used to be, if you had any black in you, you're black. Period. You have a drop of black in you, whether you have a black parent, white mother, black mother, whatever, you are black. Nowadays, people use it as a ploy to strengthen their argument. Like Sean King, right? You know who Sean King is, right? Yeah. He says he's black, right? He's not black. But he says he's black.
How do you know he's not?
Because he says he has a black parent. So he says he's black. But he don't look black.
Okay, but here's the thing. Like I just told you, I have my children are Puerto Rican, Irish, and German.
Yeah.
I have a straight red head, no freckles. I don't know what just happened.
That shit was ringing forever. Like, yo, I didn't know.
But
it could ring
I
that
understand
long.
what you're saying.
I'm saying no. This is what I'm saying. I'm not putting down black community. I'm saying that nowadays black people pick and choose, white people pick and choose.
Everybody picks and chooses.
Before it used to be, if you were black, if you had a black mother or a black father, you were black. Nowadays, is whether you have a black parent. Now people just pick. Oh well, you if you look more white, you're white.
I agree and disagree. I actually, my mom had a black child. I grew up in the 80s with a black brother in Medford, New Jersey. You can imagine what my life was like. And one of the things that really bothered me about the situation, I mean, I was 7 years old being called an N-er lover walking down the street. I fought a lot when I was younger because people saw that I had a black brother. I would walk down the street with my brother and grown men throwing eggs out the window saying jungle fever and things, and and I didn't understand, like, that's my brother. I don't, we have different dads, whatever. And I know that when my brother was growing up, his identity played a huge part in him taking to the streets because he lived in a family that was predominantly white. He had no one to teach him how to be a black male. My brother turned to the streets, not because he thought it was cool or because, Juicy and Tupac and, whatever. I said Juicy, I'm thinking Biggie. Getting ahead of myself. Because of, Biggie and Tupac. But my brother found a community that took him in, that accepted him for being a mixed child with a straight white mom. And, and that was his family. And I watched my brother go through things that gives me the consensus of why I feel the way I do about mixed children. Because as a parent, whether you are single or you're married, if you have a mixed child, you have an obligation to teach them where they come from. And that's not just to be black, and that's not just to be white or Spanish or Asian or whatever. Mixed children especially need to know who they are. They fight with their identity, and that's why, like, we'll talk about that chick that that is white, but she grew up in a predominantly and I know everybody's always got something to say about her.
She
that's a whole nother topic, but what I'm saying is I can relate to that aspect of it because I saw that struggle within a young, impressionable black male that had no one. And I watched my brother have 4 kids and be married and be the epitome of what a strong black male is, that turned his life around and got out of the the gang game and everything. And he's got his own business and he owns homes and takes care of his kids. So
that tells you that America is great.
America is great. However, America doesn't give everyone the same opportunity. America is also not the land of the free. It is
really?
America is the land of the home and enslaved. Why do you think that you have a
slave? Who's a slave?
You're a slave. I'm a slave. We're all slaves.
They slaves too, if that's the case.
Yeah, to the bigger people. But guess what?
I'm saying they all slaves. We all slaves to money.
Well, I'm not. I wasn't even talking about money. But this is not the land of the free and the brave. Why do you have a social security number?
What I'm saying to you is, and
why do you have a social security number?
I know why.
Exactly. So you're not free.
I'm saying to you,
you're not free.
Everybody has.
You have opportunity, but you're not free.
But they all have it.
They all don't.
Who?
And I'll take you to Camden right now. I'll take you to Kensington. I'll take you to these people that came, and it all comes down to not having a godly home.
I'm saying, look, no, and
this is the product of broken homes.
I get that. What I'm saying to you is, if this is the land of the slave, then everybody's enslaved.
Yes.
Even the government.
Yes.
So, okay,
because
I
there
can
is
agree
a
with
much
that.
larger picture.
I can agree with that.
And that'll go to the battle of good and evil that goes around all the time.
I can agree with that. If you
want
to say that, as long as we can agree with that.
It is.
I agree with that.
Listen, we are paying for energy from the sun.
Yeah.
We have men and women that are taking ownership for things off of our planet, and they're charging us for it. We got to pay tax to get fish and food out of our own waters. Come on.
Well,
we're free?
No.
That opportunity that everyone has, it comes with a price. It comes with a price.
It's all about being benefited. I get that. And the wheels have to work a certain way. Because if you decide to take everything away, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just so, this is sad that some people are more fortunate than others. But you need the system. because if you don't have this system, you won't have nothing.
Oh, I agree. You need order of some sort.
Yeah.
But what, as a black man dealing, with everything in life and what we've talked about, because we were all over the place, we're going to have a part two. But as a black male, and listen, let's not talk about thoughts and black women this and black women that. And let's keep it real and genuine and 100. Yeah. If you had the opportunity an hour from now to make changes, real changes that are going to stick, what would your plan be? What would you recommend? In what ways would you change the system to design it for better opportunity for the black community, males and females?
Well, that's a very loaded question. Number one. Number two.
It sounds like you have an answer.
If I have to simplify it, yes, I would structure. First of all, I would tackle the inner city violence. Yeah. That's the first thing I would talk about. Yeah. That's the first thing I would hammer that into the point where people will say, okay, we'll stop because we're just so sick of hearing about it. Mm-hmm. That's my biggest issue with the black community is black on black crime. Anything else, I don't care about. We have to start there first. That's where I would start with. Giving these little boys trades and teaching them how to do certain things, teaching them about there's other opportunities out there, teaching them how to get their passport and traveling, showing them different things. That's what I would do. One of the major reasons why I believe.
But how do you get rid of black on black crime?
How do you get rid of black on black crime? You have to take people to a place where, and I don't mean physically, I mean mentally, that they've never been. You have to separate this and put them in a situation where they feel as though they only can get better. Because a lot of these kids, the reason why they do it, the reason why they're out there fighting each other or whatever, is because they think it's cool and they think that's what they want to do.
I think a lot of them think it's cool, and I think a lot of them have really bad home lives, and they turn to the streets for guidance.
And
because
yes,
you
they
see
do.
so many black males, like you said, there's a lot of older black males.
So let me ask you this.
Well, hold on. You said that you see a lot of older black males, so middle aged, a little bit older, that did think it was cool to be on the streets. So as these young black males are coming up, that's who they're seeing. So that's who they're emulating. They don't have the proper tools, as I said earlier, to even acknowledge those opportunities.
Well, they do have the proper tools. The point is they don't either know how to access them, or they don't want to access them. Because there's listen, you have your phone.
Yeah. You
don't have to ever go to the library ever again. You
I don't.
literally can do everything on your phone. You can make $1 million on your phone.
Yeah.
That thing right there is the greatest invention of all time. The phone. It really is.
I think that's a gift and a curse too. Because Tesla talked about that many years ago.
The reason why it's a curse is because most people were misguided through it. They misdirected and misinformed. But and the reason why I brought that up is because let's just say all the rappers talked about real estate. Do you think there will be a lot of black on black crime? If most rappers, and I'm not trying to put this on rappers. Yeah. I'm saying influencers, I should say, not just rappers. Do you think there'll be a lot of black on black crime if they talked about how to make money?
See, where we don't connect is that I don't agree into thinking that black on black crime comes from like rap or whatever. Do I think that it was glorified? The street life and everything back in the late '80s, early '90s. It was glorified.
Well, however, most rap songs from the '80s from the early '90s up until now, most of them glorify drug use, guns, violence, cars, women, sex, bitches, hoes, this, that. They do.
Yeah, now, I agree.
And 90% of young black men listen to that music. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not saying that it's the total cause of it. I'm saying that
you think that it's a primary cause.
I'm saying that it's a contributing factor to maybe half of it.
Okay, so then in my opinion, I think the other 50% is from not having a healthy home life.
Yeah.
These kids, they wouldn't be turning to rappers and the street if they had a structured
home.
If they had a male in the home, or they had a mom that was, a present parent. Everything starts in the home. Everything. I don't care where. There's a reason these kids are leaving their homes, going to the streets. They're not getting something at home.
Well, that's what I'm pointing to. You know what I mean? Right? That's what I'm pointing to you.
Do you think
the streets became cool? It's not that it's not survival.
See,
This
I
is
disagree.
gang life is a lifestyle. It's cool. If you're not a part of the gang, you're not cool.
Well, I never cared about being cool, but let me ask you this, and maybe we can get somewhere with this. If you don't mind me asking, how did you grow up? Did you grow up in a home?
projects.
But what I'm saying is, did you grow up with both parents? And you know,
Nope.
what was your childhood?
I didn't grow up with both parents.
Okay.
I grew up with my mom and my brother.
And did your mom teach you to not turn to the streets?
No,
Who taught you not to
Me.
turn to the streets? How did you teach yourself?
I didn't like what I was seeing.
Okay,
So I wanted to change my environment.
But what did your mother do to push you along, or
If we speak in facts, I ain't gonna sit here and lie. No, my mother didn't teach me anything about. Only thing my mother taught me is just be respectable to people. But mother didn't teach me about not to be in the streets.
So nobody taught you how to be a strong black man, because in today's world, you have a home, you have
No,
you would be
I'm
considered.
gonna tell you what taught me how to be a strong black man. I didn't like what I was seeing in the hood. I was horrified. It is not that I was scared. I didn't want to ever live like that.
Yeah.
I'm not cool. I'm not cool with people killing each other.
Yeah.
I'm not. Mark just got killed, and Mark's cousin got killed 3 weeks ago. It's all right. No, that's not all right.
No. But see, I don't think everybody has that mentality or even that like open-mindedness to look at something and say, hey, that's a problem. I don't want to be that. And that's a tool. That's a tool that's required for people to succeed and to be able to grasp that opportunity.
You know why? Because in America, we have this thing where we glorify criminality. Everybody, people love the crook. They love the bad guy.
They do.
They love to see the old white women chasing criminals in heels.
Smacking with the bag and stuff. We do. And
the police chief tackling black men. Like, people like the underdog.
That. People like drama.
Yes.
People like drama. They like the hype.
That's why.
They want to be right. They want to do all this stuff.
Let me ask you this. I guess we can almost end this, but
I don't even know. I'm sweating. I'll tell you that.
When you hear the word hood, what do you think of?
Well, see, that's a tough question because some people say I'm hood.
When you hear the word hood, what do you think of?
I think of where I've come from.
Right. And what's in the hood?
What's in the hood is diversity, good food, and a lot of struggle and diffities and suppression and oppression.
Now, let me ask you this.
When you say the hood, I think of Camden, Kensington, not the suburbs.
I'm saying, now, that was what I was about to ask you. Yeah. Right? When you hear the word suburb, what do you think of?
I think of primarily white people.
Yeah, see?
Primarily white people.
This is the suburbs. I'm not white.
No, but I said primarily. I live in Marlton, and
there's a lot of black people in Marlton.
There is. There's a lot of black people in Marlton. But there's still a minority.
The point I'm making to you is, those words are stigmas, and people know if you use hood,
they know what you're referring to.
They're going to say, because you never said black.
Oh, no, because,
you never said black. No,
because
it's fine,
when I hear hood, I don't think black.
Yeah, you don't think black.
I think low income and stuff because I've lived in the hood.
Right?
And,
But the majority of white people, when you say hood, they think black. Ghetto, black.
Yes.
Suburbs, white.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that it's not that, but I'm saying those are trigger words.
It is. And
you know
I hate the word trigger. It drives me nuts. But you're right. It is trigger words. However, we're part of that problem because we keep using those words. But what we're doing now is we're creating new words like simp. I think I hate when you guys discuss it. It drives me nuts. It sounds like the men that hate on simps are the men that have an issue with guys giving to women and aren't getting tail. Oh well, sorry, you gotta pay to get it.
You might have to come back for that conversation.
But it does. It drives me nuts because I think we want peace. We want peace so bad. Hold on, we want peace so bad. But yet we do any and everything to be individuals and to be different than everybody else. Yeah. We need. I don't care about the LGBT community in the sense of like I don't need to have a label for that. We don't need a label for someone that falls in love with a roller coaster or for somebody that identifies as an alien. Yeah. We're all humans. The minute that we start respecting human lives, that's when we're gonna do better. But I don't think it's gonna get better. I think it's gonna get worse. So.
It's gonna get. You ever heard of the word corrupter?
I have. I've heard it used in multiple.
You know what a corrupter is?
Why don't you tell me?
Right. So a corrupter is a person, basically like a sociopath. It's like a person who just distracts and destroys and does it. In every community, you have that.
Yes.
And what I mean by community, I'm not just saying in the black community. I'm saying in every community that's from LGBTQ and black community, the straight community, all have corruptors.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the people that we need to weed out.
That claim that they're liberals and like you were saying, oh, liberals say I'm woke. No, I agree. They are put there for a reason and for a purpose. That's why certain marches in regards to Black Lives Matter and things, you see the same white person at a march in Washington that you saw in Florida or whatever.
They're corrupters.
Have you ever heard somebody, like people like now are getting on this thing where they're saying that we live in a simulation? Have you heard of it? Or
yes.
Even, okay. When you think about it, we do. That's what I was going to say. We do, because look at social media. Yeah. We, like you said, we love the drama. We love starting shit. We like when, the little old white lady getting all heated about, a black person having music up or dumb stuff. We love for that. We look for it, and it takes us away, and we're able to simulate a life on Facebook, Snapchat, what's that sex one? Fans only, whatever.
Only fans.
Yeah, or whatever.
Yo,
whatever. I'm
this
just
is the
saying.
second woman that said fans only, yo.
Whatever.
That's 2 for 2, yo.
But I'm just saying, like, we're doing it to ourselves, and until we take a step back and we really evaluate what we want, because listen, like you said, people are a bunch of followers. Look at how many people spread fake news on Facebook that so
don't say fake news.
Yeah, no,
there's
Trump.
Listen, he created that word.
We don't want to get started. But I'm just saying. What I'm saying is that we don't. America is great. Yeah. We do have a lot more opportunity. We don't have to worry about Muslims here being killed because they think gay people are a disgrace to their family, and that does happen in India and things. So yes, while we have better things and we have higher quality things, for the advances that we do have, we should be doing a hell of a lot better than what we're doing. And there's certain things that I find unacceptable. So
he said America is that ugly, loyal girlfriend that you just don't want to leave. Yeah, you don't like being with her.
Well, here's, what? So let me ask you this, because we're talking race and in America and all this stuff. I one of the things I can't stand is and I don't see it really in the black community as much. I see it more in the Spanish community. And I see white people, God forbid you speak another language out in public. I don't know what you're saying, so they have a fit. The people saying the whole, go back to your own country. I'm Irish and German. I wish that Ireland or Germany would say, come on home, because I would be out. I would be out. Do you think that because America, I didn't ask to come here, my ancestors did, so because America is a melting pot and we have so much diversity, the people that aren't happy here, do you think that they should have the ability to go home to whatever country that they want to, if that's where their natural origins are?
You have the ability to go anywhere. Just to answer your question, you can, if you want to leave America, you can.
Well, no, I agree that you can. However, you being a black male, if you leave America and you go to Africa, how would they look at you being a black
here's
American
my thing. I'm
male?
not from Africa.
No, but I'm saying
I know what you're saying.
People,
I'm gonna answer, but I'm gonna answer
think,
your
you
question.
Know what I mean? Like
I get exactly what you're saying. You're saying basically your my ancestors and lineage come from that.
Yes.
I get it.
Yes.
But where was you born?
Well, America.
Then you're American.
Okay, but if you look at your DNA,
I don't care about that.
Well, you should care about that, because DNA is like
I do care about my DNA,
part.
but I care about my DNA. But I'm saying I don't care about you. Not one white person can tell me to go back to Africa, because if that's the case, then we'll all be gone.
Oh yeah, the only people that would be here would be Native Americans.
Yeah, but my point to you is, I'm from America. You're from America. Yes. We were born here. We're Americans. Period.
You don't care about the DNA, but what about the people that do care about the DNA?
If they want to go back to
wherever their
Nigeria or wherever they want to go, there's nothing stopping them from going.
Would they be accepted in that community?
Well, you can't. My thing is I can't answer that question.
Because the answer is no. Just like.
What do you mean? Like, would they be accepted by Nigerians?
No, they would be, if a black male or female from America went back to Nigeria or whatever, if that's where their ancestry comes from, they would not be looked
Well, you know
at
why
the
they
same.
won't be looked like that?
Why is that?
Because they from America.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's really not their fault.
No, it's not. I'm not saying it is their fault, but it's the same thing going on within the black community now. And you said something earlier about, this one's, considered black because he's a little bit darker than the other one, but he's a little, white, so he's not considered.
Okay, so you said.
So we have racism within our own.
Yeah, that's true.
Genres.
That's true.
So,
that's true.
So, do you think that the black on black crime and things like that has anything to do with certain, color of minorities not being accepted within their own communities?
No, most black on black crime comes in that it's a bunch of different versions of black on black crime.
No, I agree.
And I guess I could give you a real quick saying about it. So there's a bunch of different versions of black on black crime. You have gangs, then you have people who are strung out, robbing people. Then you have people who are just crazy killers. Yeah. Then you have domestic violence, black on black crime, right? The majority of most black on black crime that happens is gang violence. There are more murders, gang violent murders in America than any other murders.
And you think
gang related?
Okay.
I'm saying that most of these kids are indoctrinated into
through
these gangs. Not through the music. That's beyond music. We're talking about my cousin killed your cousin. So now I'm going to kill your cousin.
Yeah. Eye for an eye.
Your cousin killed my cousin. Now I'm going to kill your cousin. It's not just, but that's not just black gangs though.
Oh no, that's all gangs.
And they don't really get that from to be honest with you, most black gangs are different from the Italian mafia.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's what to me, from what I read, most black gangs, in the beginning, they modeled everything after the mafia. Okay. But the mafia is a little bit different because you have to get...
You got to earn your rank.
You got to own your rank, and you also have to get your... you can't just off somebody.
No, you'll get off for offing somebody.
You know what I'm saying?
However...
But it became gang mentality and gang violence became the normality in the ghetto. So now if you live on that block and I live on this block and I see you, we can't be cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not
kind
because...
of like, no, but it's kind of like the Bronx. You have one street, it's primarily Puerto Ricans, and you go to Jamaican Ave and whatnot. I understand that, but do you think that broken homes for, the black community is the reason, or at least part of it, for the gangs? Do you think say that we could wipe out black single mothers that are struggling and can't get help from the fathers? Do you think if more families had black male role models in the home that gang life would start to...
Well, and that goes back to what I said about taking the black man out the home back in the early 60s. Once that became normal and women can raise these boys, and these boys don't have men to teach them how to be men, now, to your point, it is survival mode. But that was in the 80s and 90s.
So you don't think that's occurring today?
No. I think now there's no such thing as survival mode anymore. Because you literally can get whatever you want and do what you want. Now, I'm not saying...
To an extent. You
can get help from anybody. You can get help from the government.
No, I couldn't.
Yes, you can. I mean, like I'm not you. I'm saying...
No, I know. I think
get help from the government. How
government assistance is designed for a certain demographic. If you don't fall within that demographic, you're not getting any assistance. The government will only help you if you sit on your ass and you don't do a damn thing for yourself. So you can't promote a community or generations to go out and do these things.
So let me ask you this.
Because here's the thing: if a mom is on SNAP or the food stamps, whatever that is, she has to go and put an application in once a week and whatever. Yeah. But the minute she gets a job, even if she's making $7.50 an hour, those food stamps are gone. Okay. What kind of mom can function properly when she's got to worry about feeding her kids.
You would be surprised.
No, I wouldn't be surprised.
Listen, I'm saying
there's a lot
you
of
would
things
be
that shock me,
surprised.
but you understand what I'm saying?
No, I get what you're saying.
People are still in survival mode, especially these single moms that are making minimum wage and trying to put food on their table. They don't want to be there. I think
that majority of the people in the black community are not in survival mode. I don't understand why people believe that. You have the same opportunity. I don't have a degree.
But here's the thing. Listen,
I own a home.
I know, but here's the thing. If you don't have food in your refrigerator,
I didn't. You know, some days that I
that's different times.
Yeah.
Listen,
exactly. That's my point.
Different times. These kids are. Have you seen the videos? Because we're talking about the videos. There's kids that are handed a can opener and don't even know what the hell to do with it. These kids are. We have not done these kids justice.
To do with.
Yes, it does.
That has nothing to do with. No, I'm saying that has nothing to do with being in survival mode.
Yes, it does. Because here's the thing: if I don't have food in my refrigerator, if I can't feed my kids, if I don't have power to wash and bathe them, I'm going to do whatever I need to do. Tell me what town
and city in America today doesn't have power, food, access to food.
I'm not talking about towns. Do you think that there is anybody that lives in your neighborhood?
Of course there's a lot of people that I give it to you like that. Yeah, of course.
So
but
you mean
they don't? But that doesn't mean they don't have access to it.
But here's the thing: some don't have access to it. And listen, we got the same mindset. I am a fighter. Listen, I'll get knocked down 50 times and I'll get back up 53. You know what I mean? So we think alike on that. However, I'm able to look at all aspects of things. And what I'm telling you, and I like I said, single mom of four, sweating her tush off from that light over there. But but I've been there. My power has been cut off.
Yeah.
With my kids in the home.
But that doesn't mean you don't have the opportunities.
Listen.
Go ahead.
I want you to understand, so you've really got to listen here. As a woman and a mother, I've had my power cut.
Yeah.
I've had no food for me to eat, but for my children. I've had to go to the food bank and I've had to go do all of these things. That is survival mode.
Okay.
A woman is not going to be able to teach her male children or her female children the proper things if she's constantly having to worry about, man, how am I going to get these kids food? I don't have a vehicle. I can go get a job. I have the opportunity to go get a job, but I have nowhere to get there. And let me tell you something. Men, and especially you at times, I've caught you, men look down. Men look down on women that are trying. Like, just because somebody's not doing what you would consider to be your level of, opportunity, doesn't mean that they're not trying. But if you think that a mom that can't put food on the table, get a vehicle, get haircuts for her sons, man. That's one thing that's huge for me. It always has been. Boys need haircuts, man. They need to go to the barber, whatever. So if a mom's worrying about food, bills, all this stuff, do you think she's teaching her daughter to not go out and be a thought or a hoe? Do you think she's teaching her son to go out and respect people? No, she's in survival mode. She's only worried about today, how she's going to feed her kids, how she's going to keep the power on and things like that. So for you to say that there are not people in America that are in survival mode, you're wrong, and the pandemic has made it worse.
But this is what I'm saying to you. So if you want to say something, see, my interpretation of survival mode is totally different from yours.
Well, then what's your
interpretation of survival mode is South Korea survival mode.
So you're talking kill or be killed. No, we're not.
I'm not saying that, kill or be killed. I'm saying they don't have anything. I'm saying you live in America, you have an opportunity to get to those food banks.
You're right.
You have
a lot of them delivered.
You have public transportation.
Things could be worse.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm saying.
But here's the thing. We can fight that things can be worse in any argument. We could fight it about the guy in Mount Laurel, whatever. We could always say, it can always be worse. But why even think about those things? Let's focus and worry about now. For me as a mom, and I'm sure lots of other people, and not even just females, but males, because you got single dads out there that are doing their thing, trying to feed your kids, trying to provide a roof, that is survival. Because here's the thing. In the United States, you can't, in another country, I can go live in a tent and nobody's going to look at me, twice. Here, you want to be a kid in today's, day and age.
You know why you can't do that here?
Well, yeah, it's against the law. They don't want you on state property.
No, that's not true.
But listen.
That's not true.
Anyways,
some people in California do that all the time.
Oh yeah, they live. Well, they do it in Camden. They have.
I'm saying, but you know why? You know why people look at you strange?
Can I finish? what I was saying?
But I'm just
Go
asking.
ahead.
You know why?
We've done this the whole shit. Why?
Because people know that you have an opportunity to do something about it. There's homeless people right now wearing Air Max sneakers.
Yes, my friends and I just had this conversation the other day,
right?
actually.
With brand new clothes and iPhones.
Like, don't give them any
There's
money.
a homeless person with an iPhone and they have shifts.
Yes, and they probably own 2 homes. There was a guy in Atlantic City that he was around for like years. My dad used to tell me about him, and he would come up here and panhandle, and then he would go back to his house in Florida.
Look, check it out, right?
But I get what you're saying. Yes, but what I'm saying is, I'm not thinking of people like you and I that are middle aged.
Is that survival mode?
What survival mode?
Homeless people.
It depends if you're homeless by choice or.
What if you're just homeless? Is it homeless by choice? What's that?
Well, some people choose to
not
be a drifter. Some like that gypsy life.
So
you know what I mean?
Is that survival mode when you see a homeless person at the highway asking for money? When you know right across the street there's a McDonald's hiring?
In a sense, but let me ask you this. That same homeless person, and I'm not talking about the one with the Air Maxes and, like the button up and everything.
Why not?
Because I'm talking about the real homeless people.
Oh, so they're not real homeless people?
No, they're panhandlers, and they're out here making way more money than you and I would make on a good day.
But on people the iPhone now.
Yes, but real homeless people, they can't just walk into a McDonald's and go get a job because guess what? They haven't washed their hair in a hot minute. They probably aren't shaved. Their clothes stink. They're dirty.
When was the last time you seen a real homeless person?
Just the other day when I went up to the Philadelphia VA Medical Center. I see them all the time, a lot in Philly.
What's that, in Kingston?
No, it's University Ave.
Oh, yeah.
No, listen, through the pandemic, and this is not just something within the black community, this hit really hard with the white community, especially where I live in Marlton. The pandemic, a lot of families were not used to their children being home because, a lot of kids, they eat at school. So the amount of people going to the food bank in the suburbs is insane. We are in a different time. Everybody's going through it. Everyone is in survival mode in a sense. No, I don't think, no, it's not like it is in North or South Korea or whatever. But there's almost an expectation of what life is supposed to be like in the United States. So
this
you
is
can't
the reason
fault
why
people.
United States is the greatest country. Because
we're not number one in education.
Well,
we're not number one in education. We're not
the
number
United States,
one.
Again, gift and a curse, that ugly girlfriend.
Yeah.
I'm saying, here's the thing when it comes to the United States, and I understand
it's the
what you're saying.
land of opportunity.
That's the best part.
But opportunity doesn't mean you have the
doesn't mean you will
tools to
succeed.
reach it. No, it doesn't.
Don't mean none of that.
It doesn't.
It don't. But guess what? When you lose, or when they stop, well, how would I say this? When you fail, you do what?
Oh no! When you fail here, you're done.
You're not.
Let me ask you
the only time you're done is when people try to cancel you.
Anyway, let's not get started on the cancel culture. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
In the United States, if I am 18 years old and I go to jail for a felony and I serve my time, I pay my fines, I do my, probation, whatever. I'm a 40-year-old male and I still can't vote for my president. Even though I went through the process, I paid for my crimes, I did all my things. I have no rights in my country to own a gun to protect myself and my family. I'm not allowed to go get certain state or federal jobs. I'm not even allowed to vote for the very person that makes my rights.
Can you own a house?
And we're a forgiving.
Can you own a home?
We're a forgiving.
Hold up. Can
nation.
you own a home? Can you own a home?
If a felon
can you start your own business?
If a felon cannot get a proper job, no, a felon cannot get a home. They can't purchase it.
Can you start a business?
No.
A felon can't start a business. I know plenty of felons who start businesses.
Listen, I'm not saying I'm cutting you off. That's what I'm doing. If you are felons that have served their time and done their due, are they looked as they have been?
Well, that's the old way.
You talk about this old and this new.
No, I'm saying
I don't think that.
I think that nowadays,
felons have rights?
You can be, yes, of course. I'm saying you can be a felon nowadays, or you can be a former or be on probation and still.
But you still can't vote for your president. You still can't own a firearm to protect your family with. There's a lot of things that you can't do.
Felons don't want to vote for the president.
But here's the thing.
No, I'm joking.
No, you're gonna hear a lot of shit for that one. No,
I just don't want to be a part of shit.
Because entire communities have lost hope and faith in their government, and that's why. And that's why I think what you see in the black community as people being lazier, not fighting. People
I didn't
are
say
tired.
that.
You said it earlier. We could rewind.
No,
you said lazy.
I said I don't want to say lazy. That's what I said.
Prior to that. No, but I get what you're saying. I feel like, we are the land of opportunity. Yeah. We have easier access than most other countries that don't have democracy. However, that same government that throws us some crumbs is real quick to snatch us up and throw us in a box to keep us
and I understand
in order.
I understand
so while you think it's this great place, keep it real, because it's a nasty and ugly place too.
It's no worse than any other country who are bombing kids.
No, we may not be.
Have you been bombed?
Listen,
hold up. Let me respond to that. Have you been bombed?
No.
Why is that? Why haven't we been
British
attacked? But why? No, don't try to mock me. Why haven't we been attacked?
We have not been attacked.
Why is that?
It hasn't happened yet.
But okay, why is that?
Because we have instilled fear into our own people and others.
What do you mean? Listen. We haven't been attacked.
Do you think we will never be attacked?
American
No, we have not
been attacked.
Take that back, because we have been attacked on our own soil, primarily.
That's
domestic
different.
Type stuff. However,
different.
We can't, as Americans, listen, the two of us could walk over to Pakistan and they're going to kill us both, not because you're black and I'm white, but they're going to kill you because you're an American.
The point I'm making to you is you're protected, whether you like it or not.
Listen, we're not though.
Really?
No.
So okay.
Do we have
how many?
Access?
Let me ask you something, right? How many? You former military.
Yes.
How many countries has America bombed?
Probably all of them.
Okay, and how many times we've been bombed?
Listen, do you think America has not bombed and put things on our own soil?
What I'm saying to you
they have.
The point I'm making to you
no,
is,
you're
right?
Your point's invalid. Your point's invalid because you're talking about boots. Because you're talking about us being bombed and all this stuff. The American government allows KKK extremists, all these other people to bomb. It's no different than what's going on.
When did the KKK bomb anybody?
Well, I'm just saying, like white supremacists, people like that, people that have ulterior motives, that believe in different things, have done domestic acts of terror.
Do you know why
and they've
that
been
is?
allowed. Why?
Because America they opened it up.
Great.
Well, listen, hold up. I'm gonna explain to you why that is, and I'm not defending the KKK.
Oh no, well, I just use
saying,
that.
I'm just saying that. I understand what you're saying.
Extremists
I'm saying to you is, there's two sides to the story.
There's three.
There's always three, but in America, we're just gonna go with two because we don't really know the truth.
No,
so we're gonna go with two. The two, you fight for one side, I fight for another side. In other countries, they don't do that.
No,
so
I agree.
That's what I'm saying. So whether we like it or not, whether you hate it, whether you love it, you still have the opportunity to change. You can either be that person who's an extremist, or you cannot be an extremist. But that's the beauty of America. You allow that to happen. Because if you didn't allow it to happen, you know what happens when you don't allow it to happen?
What? Becomes
a dictatorship. Okay. And now you can't do nothing.
So back to the transgenders then. So in other words, you got to accept transgenders walking in your bathroom.
And that's a difference.
Listen.
The reason why you shouldn't have to accept that, I'm not saying you as an adult. I wasn't arguing with that. I was talking about for the children.
Oh, no,
I'm saying that children shouldn't have to be subjected to that.
No, not at all.
That's my point. That's my point. I don't. As an adult, if you tell me that you're transgender, I respect it, and that cool.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But I don't want my child
questioning and understanding.
That's my point.
You shouldn't
about
have to explain to a 5-year-old why somebody that looks like a male on the bottom looks like a female on top.
That's what I'm saying.
I get that. However, times are changing, and you do have to explain that.
No, you don't. You shouldn't have to explain that to your child. Really? You should have to explain to your child.
I just told
that
you
a man is a man. A man with a penis is a woman.
Did you see last?
How are you going to explain it to your child? How would you
What do
explain
you mean
that?
how? You explain it to your children that there are some people that recognize differently in the world.
They don't understand the word recognize.
No, but I'm saying you're going to speak in kids' terms. But what I'm saying
So how would you? You a mother? How would
yeah,
you?
and I've had this conversation.
Yes, tell me, because I don't know, and I'm not saying this to be smart. I'm literally don't know. Explain to me how you would tell your child, in kids' terms, that was a man that was born as a man but identifies as a woman.
Well, I think as a mom, when we have kids, like my kids were always naturally like what their sex was. Like I have 3 boys. They were naturally boys. They wanted to do all these boys things. And my daughter, she's like, the only female. So it's like, it's crazy because she's very naturally girly. Everything's got to be pink. It's got to be glitter. She wears high heels, So in that regard, I never had to have the discussion. Except for there were times, like my 4-year-old now, he sees me with my daughter and, and I paint her nails and things like that. And he's like, can I get my nails painted? No, boys don't paint their nails. I teach my children, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to look at me wrong, but boys don't paint their nails. Yeah. When you're 18 and you leave my home, you're free to do whatever you want. Yeah. However, you are you're part of a community, a family within, my home. If my kid wanted to paint his fingernails black, whatever, I would definitely give him crap for it. But at an older age, like what am I going to say? I can't say anything. But it's our job as parents to teach children the right way. And I do believe in the Bible. I believe in God, the father of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So I do have certain religious beliefs that play into how I run my home. But I explain that there are people that are born male or female that recognizes something different. They don't feel like men, they don't feel like women, they feel like the opposite sex. And believe it or not, my 17-year-old and I, we watch a lot of documentaries and we get in depth about religion, politics, drugs, everything. Because as a single mom trying to raise men, I had to have and build a close relationship with my sons because I am not a male. I have no idea what it's like to be a man. I'm not a man, so to be a woman and try and raise men is hard. It's hard. So I do teach things based on my religious beliefs, and I teach things based on what I believe, but I also let my kids know that I'm not sculpting you to be just like me. I'm sculpting you to be and do better than I ever have. So yes, you want to live under my roof, you're going to follow my rules, and you're going to listen to, how I run my house, but I'm still going to love you. Would I be disappointed if my kids...
I guess that really doesn't answer my question.
It does, though.
Of how would you explain to a child the difference between a grown man having a penis and saying he's a woman?
But here's the thing with children, they're so pure and they're so innocent that you don't need some big in-depth explanation.
But that's what I'm saying. You didn't tell me how you would do that.
Yeah, well, I did, though, because if my 4-year-old came to me and says, my 4-year-old will, I don't know, you got kids, they're little snitches. They don't see the impurities of the world. They're fresh. So, if they see somebody that has one arm, where's your arm? Like kids don't, they're not tainted. We are tainted. We are tainted beyond,
for good reason.
Anything. Yes. But if my son came to me and said, he would probably ask if he saw a transgender that was women on the top and man on the bottom, he would say, why do you have a bird? Yeah. Girls don't have birds, because I've taught my kids, boys have birds and girls have cookies. But that's how he would ask me. He would say, why is he girl on top and boy on the bottom? And I would explain, because he doesn't, he has a bird, so that means he was born a boy, but he doesn't feel like a boy. Okay. So he, he views himself as a girl.
So basically you explain it through feeling.
Yes, and then as they get older, I would tell them my true and real beliefs on, transgenders and gay people and, and things like that. Because I think we have an obligation as parents not to shield and, protect our kids from the outside world. Some stuff we need to, but it's our job to give them tools. Everything is tools, and I've said that a lot throughout, the podcast. We're not giving anybody tools. The government is giving us options, but they're not giving us any avenues to utilize those options. They are. They have an obligation to the American people. Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
The obligation was when the pandemic hit to pay you, and they did that.
Well, yeah, that backfired because people now don't want to work because they're making so much money on unemployment and that extra.
Whose fault is that?
The government's fault.
So you can't have it both ways.
No,
you can't say the government is supposed to do something, then when they do it, you say, well, it's their fault.
Well, you don't do it half-ass. If you're going to do it, do it.
Half-ass?
Listen, the government knows. Look at the welfare system. Welfare system. They will not. The government will not. If you are a hardworking woman, say there's a single mom out here and she's working at the Dollar General, and she's waitressing 3 nights a week. She's not getting help. You know why? Because she's actually doing something. They're going to help the people. They're going to give you rental assistance. They're going to give you electrical assistance. They're going to give you food. They're going to give you everything you need to sit on your ass, because the minute that you get up off your ass, they're not helping you. That's not why the system was designed the way that it was. It was to help people that are actually trying.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
what government is going to hand people money to do nothing and then complain that the job rates are,
Here's the thing, and this is, I guess this would be the last.
The system is jacked
right?
up, so
So
we'll just leave it at that.
Unemployment, right?
Oh, God.
Right? So
you
look,
don't want
right?
to talk to me about this.
Right? So, look, I'm going to tell you why people should sit on the ass of unemployment.
Wait, say that one more time?
They should.
They should sit on their ass?
Because especially if they worked and they earned it. That's their
But
money.
that's not Social Security. That's different.
No, but that's their money. You can't.
To an extent, I agree with
it's
you.
their money.
It's
if
not.
you work for 20 years, right, and the pandemic hit, and then you lost your job, your company shut down.
You should have a pension.
Right?
You should have savings. You have opportunity to have savings. You have opportunity to set yourself up in case of a disaster.
But you put money into the unemployment system for a situation like this. This is what
Well, okay,
unemployment does. They make you believe, look.
Legitimately losing your job versus quitting your job to collect benefits is two totally different things. So if somebody lost their job at the pandemic, they should collect.
Listen,
they should.
I am scared for my life. I quit my job because I work with people who can give me COVID. So I quit. How am I wrong for that? I quit my job because I'm afraid to die.
Could your job have done, like, are you saying you, like...
No, not me.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying in general, people.
But see, here's the thing. People
right?
were given options. Like you said, land of opportunity.
Yeah.
When COVID hit, people were given the option. Anybody that could, like, listen, when COVID first hit and they were giving those, incentives, there was a lot of people that needed it. The majority of the people that are still on it, they don't need it, and that's where I get angry, because I'm going to get to that in a minute. Yeah. But the people that needed it in the beginning of COVID, because like you said, a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, pandemic, that we had no answers, we didn't know anything about it. So but they had options to work from home. A lot of these companies, and they did. And they did. However, if you choose to quit your job because you are afraid to get sick,
that's different.
Go get vaccinated.
You know what I mean? But this is before the vaccine.
Okay, so I understand that, but now. There are no excuses.
No, it is not, and I agree with that.
There are no
I agree with that.
excuses
Look,
now.
I agree with that. But wait, hold up.
Listen, I know of people that through the entire pandemic purposefully did not work because they were making more money on unemployment with their incentives.
I explain to you why. Now, on an unemployment website, right, at the very last 2 questions, one of the questions says, has your job been reduced, your hours been reduced, or shut down because of COVID? The very next question after that is, did you quit your job because of COVID? They say at the top of the page, you can quit your job.
See, I didn't know that.
This is what they tell you.
The government is.
The government tells you, if you are afraid to catch COVID, because you can't make somebody get the vaccine.
No, they're going to try.
Right?
They're going to try.
That would never happen.
I have this argument with a friend.
That would never happen
all the time.
They don't make you take anything. What did they make you take?
But here's the thing: we're in a pandemic. The laws are different in a pandemic.
We've been in a pandemic.
Yes.
Has anybody ever made you take anything?
We've
been in this pandemic for 2 years. Have they made you take anything?
No, but what they're going to do, look what they're doing. We just went totally off topic.
But, no, we talking. Go ahead.
What they have not forced you to get anything, but what they're going to do.
I know what they're going to do, and I know exactly what you're going to say.
They're going to limit your
going
to the grocery store.
That's a force of trying to make you get it. I get that.
Well, look at I think it was Texas or I forget where it was. It was somewhere like in the West. You know something's not right when they're offering you donuts and beers and strip teases to get the vaccine done. Well, come on.
Okay, and I get it. I get that.
No, I saw the look in your eye. You're going to justify that.
No. I'm not justifying that. I'm definitely
not.
Wawa
is paying right now $800.
Yes, I get it.
590 day sign-on bonus, and then $300 if you get the COVID vaccine. Why?
One of the major reasons why, and that has nothing to do with the beer and donuts and strip teases. That's crazy. The reason why is because they want people to go back to work. because they know if you come back to work, more people will come.
Yeah.
And then,
revenue is going to go back
the revenues
up.
will go back up. These companies know what they're doing. If you're vaccinated, we'll pay you $800. Do that. They get it. But the point I'm making to you is, United States, again, great country, they can't make you take sides. They can't. They can basically, what I told you about the whole sheep going this way, they do that with everything.
Okay, so let me ask you this. If the government tells you that you are no longer allowed to go into the grocery store without a vaccine...
Can't tell you that.
Listen, we are in the day...
The government can't tell you that.
Listen, they can 100%.
The government can't tell you that. The store owner only can tell you that. The government cannot tell you.
Federal and state, yes, they can.
They can't tell you that.
Okay, so we're going to end this one and move on to something else. But what I'm going to suggest to you is look up martial law.
That's different. That's different. I know about martial law.
No, what I'm saying is, you know how that is.
That's an insurrection. That's a whole different thing. Like,
I didn't even finish. Let me get that.
Go ahead.
You know how that if martial law is declared, that all state and local laws cease.
Yes.
Well, during a pandemic, laws change. After our show, when we're done tonight, I want you to do a little research, and I want you to look up what the government is allowed to do during a pandemic.
But they haven't done it.
If it means...
I know exactly what I read about all this stuff.
Okay,
I'm telling you, I know what you're talking
and
about.
what's going on with this Delta variant? You think when August, September comes after everybody partying and doing their things?
We know what they're going to do. We know what they're going to say. They're going to say you got to get a booster shot. Yes. We know we know the game. Listen, this is the game. We know the game.
You have the CDC and the WHO going clashing and bumping heads with each other.
Well, the CDC and the WHO right now,
it's crazy.
They're there, but it's the FDA is the one.
Well, the FDA also allows companies to put poison and toxins into our food. So, the FDA doesn't hold much weight.
That's to stretch the food.
The food that we have more than enough for, and we got people starving in other countries.
That's to make the food stretch.
Your country that you love so much actually has 70% of the world's waste, and the majority of it is food waste. So remember that next time you chuck out, a half-eaten, whatever. No, but I do think America is great, and I do think it is the land of opportunity, and I think we have it way better than people in some other places. I think racism is not going anywhere anytime soon.
That's the whole thing. The whole thing about racism. The reason why I would never leave,
keep it alive
because it's not us that keeps it alive. You a white woman in a black man's house.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
What I'm saying to you, we don't keep it alive. It's the politicians and the media who keeps it alive.
But we do, because guess what? We're watching those TikTok videos where that little old white lady's beating up somebody, or we are feeding it. Yeah. We are adding fuel to the fire, whether knowingly or unknowingly. Hey, I'm down. We're here today. We're talking, about a bunch of different things.
I think that I think that you're right about that. In America, there's going to be racist people.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think that us upstanding Americans and people that live in America should not worry about that.
No, I think you're right to an extent.
I think we should move past that.
I
think
do
that
too.
we should by now we should figure out what we can do to be successful together.
I agree. I think that we need to go back. Like, I actually, I miss living in the 80s. I really do. I know I do, because...
Did you dance?
Listen, dancing, playing out. But it was it was at the brink of when internet was coming in and we didn't have it. But I could walk to my neighbor's house and say, hey, my mom needs an egg. Yeah. I couldn't tell you not one of my neighbors' names. Well, maybe a couple of them, but what I'm saying is, look, people don't love thy neighbor.
I can't tell you none of my neighbors' names, right? Right? Look, it's funny, right? But I can go and ask for some food. This white lady right across the street, she always asks me, do I want food? Like, she has, she raised chickens. She raised chickens.
Does she? I need to get some eggs.
And she's like, she be like, you want? She know my name, but I don't know her name for some reason. I mean, maybe it's just me, because everybody knows my name, but I don't know their name.
So why wouldn't you ask her? That's what we need to go back to.
Yeah.
We need to go back to.
I don't know. I just like eggs from the store.
Yeah, no, I like brown eggs. Brown eggs taste.
She has like real eggs.
Yeah,
I like eggs from the store. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, because they're they.
I like brown eggs from the store.
But here's the thing: if say you say, oh, nobody's ever come and bombed us or whatever, Russia and China, they are not too happy with us right now.
They ain't gonna do that.
Listen, never say never. Never say never.
I ain't say never. I said they're not gonna do that.
If another country did put boots on our soil, We are so divided that it would just be a
I think
bloody,
we'll come
disgusting
together.
massacre.
I think we come together.
don't.
Then I don't think racism.
I think, well, no,
exists
well,
anymore.
definitely. You'll see people, fighting side by side. But my point is that we are too comfortable. We are too comfortable, and if the grid goes down, I mean, look what happened when they hacked into our gas lines. You know what I mean? People are going nuts, like, oh my God, there's no gas. Let's run out and fill trash bags and stuff. We're not talking Trump, anyways. But no, we. No, but we need to lead by example and things like that. And I think we're too judgmental, man. I mean, we've done it here
from
today.
The United States, and we're privileged. Whether it's black
we
or
are.
white. And I think a lot of countries, and I travel a lot, trust me, and I don't care what anybody says. When you say you're from America, it's either two ways they look at you, whether you're black or white, it doesn't matter. They look at you like you're privileged. Yeah. Doesn't matter if you're black or white. Yep. They look at you like, oh, like you're an alien sometimes. It's like, oh shit, you're from America? Like, oh, what part of America you live in? You tell them, if you say you're from New Jersey, anywhere around New York, or they think you're rich.
Oh yeah.
No matter what color you are.
But here's the thing, and part of that is because social media, and we project that we're like, we do put off that we're better than everybody, and we are the best.
We were the only country that
but here's the
put
thing.
designs on masks.
Yeah, but if you look in like China, like countries that are overpopulated, they've been wearing masks forever. So it's but. Our issue here is that we need to get rid of the stigmas. We need to, like the Kardashian. How is that even a role model? Like, how do women look at that? And like, you have these kids. Some people like
that. They like sensationalism.
No, they like getting out of their own jacked up world, or hating their own life, that they watch other people's. But guess what? There are a lot of homeless veterans in this country. There are a lot of homeless people that used to, listen, when you have people that are hungry, starving, and homeless and are struggling, that can't get basic necessities that should be provided in our country, we have a problem. I am not for helping other people until we help our own, and until we get, the division under control, until we get some of these homeless. I mean, go to the tent city in Camden. It's a disgrace. Kensington. How the heck does the city of Philadelphia allow that? They shouldn't allow it. If the government really had our best interests at heart, they wouldn't allow things like that. Yes, they can. Look at all these abandos you got in North Philly and Camden. You can't do that. You can.
I'm going to tell you why.
You can.
That totally goes against the American way.
Why? Because they didn't work for it?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. And some, and I'm not saying all of those, but some of the people that didn't work for it, they never had listen, tools are imperative for anything in life. It's like communication. If you don't know how to communicate with someone properly, you're going to have a rough go at things. So let me ask you
this, right? So all the bandos,
if we're going to provide
opportunity, right? Look,
if we're going to provide opportunity, we need to give people the tools to access that opportunity.
The point I'm making to you is we have things that's put in place for a reason.
What reason is that?
You cannot just put homeless people in abandoned homes. And I'm not saying abandoned. I know exactly what you're saying, but I'm not saying abandoned home. I'm saying
I know
these people, there's people that own these things.
There's a lot of people that don't own things. What about the Echelon Mall right up the street? That thing is a cemetery waiting to happen. Turn those old stores into
you can't just turn it because the government has nothing to do with that. They can't.
It's your local people.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with the government.
Exactly. And where did I say earlier in the show?
It's like if I own you got to
start in your hometown.
But you have to. If I own this house, right? The government can't do nothing to me. It's my house.
So you're telling me if you?
What I'm saying is
it's your house. They can't do anything. If the government declares martial law, is this still your house?
That's different. For them to declare martial law, they have to have. It has to be something. First of all, tell me when. I think the last time they declared martial law was in Newark of 19 when they had the Newark riots. The only time they ever declare martial law is when there's a pandemic that's out of control or a riot to the point where they have to. Okay. They don't declare martial law just to take someone's home.
Well, it's not. No, it's not. That's not what I'm saying. Yeah. You're taking it to the extreme. But what I'm saying is there is a possibility for our country to declare martial law, which means that guess what?
Yeah, that's true.
So
that's true.
So listen, and if you think that the same people that take advantage of us now aren't going to take advantage of that, you're wrong. Because here's the thing: you you could have the deed to this house. It's not your home because guess what? There's certain
that.
numbers and things that the government
But
can punch
that's
in.
not my point.
And they're
that wasn't my
but what my point is, instead of focusing on Air Force Ones and thoughts and this, that, and the other, there is a much larger picture that people aren't seeing, and it's because people are in survival mode and things like that.
The reason why they're not helping them people is because they have the same opportunities we have.
So you're saying that if somebody doesn't help themselves, that they're not worth helping,
no,
or they're not worth the opportunity.
What I'm saying is, I'm not saying that, and I understand you coming from a good place,
because
I'm from a good place too.
Yeah.
Well, and I understand, and what I'm saying to you is, there are laws and things put in place for a reason.
Yes, to keep order.
If you was to decide to put all these people
in a
home, right?
Yes.
What's stopping you from Malton saying, you know what? Fuck it. I want a free home too. And then someone from over here saying, oh, fuck it. I want a free home too. Now, because you know that's how it goes.
Oh, yeah. And they're doing it now, what we just talked about with the,
that's
with the
my
unemployment.
point. So that's one of the major reasons why restaurants don't give out food.
Free food, yeah, no, I understand.
Because everybody would like, fuck it, let's just go get some free food at 12 o'clock. I won't eat till 12.
Yeah,
like,
and
you know
it's
what
a
I'm
shame
saying?
that people will always take advantage of something. And I do understand that.
And that's the corruptors that I'm telling you about.
And I don't live in some bubble where I think, you know, like the world is this awful place, because I think it's a very beautiful place. I've been through a lot of stuff myself. However, but I do see things from different angles that most people don't see.
I'm with you on that.
And I try not to make excuses because I've been through my own struggles.
Yeah.
I've had my own fair share. A single mom of 4 kids. My oldest is about to be 21. I have been through it. I have seen people go through it. And I've seen people at different levels. I know people that are successful and rich. I know people that are poor, and I am always having to help every time I see them. I don't judge. I don't, I try to understand, and I think that's something that people don't do nowadays is, like you kind of, you look at a black woman if she's a hoe, and you're like, oh man.
Wait a minute. Yo, you ain't going to sit here and cut me up like this, yo. Come on.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, everybody uses stigmas. Everybody, there's a stigma against me, because I'm blonde and, whatever. There's a stigma against you. And we use it in music. We use it on social media and everything. So how do we escape something that we're so actively in? You know what I mean? That's why I say it's not going to change anytime soon.
We need, the thing is, and I guess we can end this, the reason why we can't escape it is because what's projected to us. All of the media talk about is negativity.
Yes, I hate watching
everything, whether it's and I'm gonna speak on both sides, whether it's Trump or Biden. Something negative. Oh, Biden slipped up and he can't talk straight. Oh, Trump's a racist. Oh, this and that. It's always negative. I'm gonna put it to you like this: every country that's successful don't have no negativity going on.
No.
Now there's some negativity going on.
Yeah, but
you don't see their news projecting negativity. The United States is designed for that.
It is, but on the same note, our news agencies, our newspapers, online, like we're not even going to have books in another 10 years because everything's, like you said, on the phone. But who are in these politicians' pockets? These media sources are getting paid to release.
You know who's in their pocket.
Oh, listen, if you go through media, like
you know where all the
ABC
money's coming from?
Say that one more time.
You know where all the money's coming from?
Yeah, they're printing it out. That's why our dollar has no value. Where's it coming from?
All the money coming from? Or we're getting all our money from? All the politicians getting their money from? China.
Oh yeah, China
controls everything.
China controls everything. That's why I was actually surprised that we're like beefing with them so much, because a lot of people don't realize that there's actual gold in each country. Like China has like the majority of our money, and you really don't want to shit where you eat, because when you go to the dollar store, you go to any store, guess what? This shirt was made in China. This was made in China. You don't do that. It's
and I guess we can end this, but the thing about China, and this is real quick, what people gotta understand is they so far ahead of us.
They are.
When it comes to control.
Oh yeah,
they don't have to necessarily control you,
but they can control the environment, which controls
things
the
that's around you.
Yeah.
So, for example, movies.
Yeah.
You know why most movies will never talk bad about China is because that's where all their money is at.
Yeah.
So you seen the thing with John Cena?
No, I didn't
He's
see that.
apologizing. He apologized to China.
Really? I didn't see
because
that.
he said one country. He said the name of another. He said a country. Taiwan was a country or something like that. I don't know.
And he was and
he
probably
apologized
didn't know.
about it. It was a big thing.
Really? Why? Was it a genuine mistake,
Because
or he was like trying to take a dig?
Because Fast and the Furious 9 came out in China.
And in the movie, he said something?
No. He said that he was doing an interview and he said it, and the next day he apologized about it. But the point I'm making to you is Hollywood and most of these media outlets are controlled by money, which the money is coming from China.
Oh yeah, look at the pharmaceutical companies.
All
and,
of that.
And everything. They're all intertwined.
They
But
know what time it is. Like,
I didn't like he shouldn't have to apologize. I mean,
he did.
Everybody's offended of everything nowadays. It's like,
well, either you apologize or they silence you. You figure that if you don't apologize in your movie, because Fast and the Furious is owned by WWE.
Yeah.
WWE makes a lot of movies. People don't know that.
No.
WWE makes probably like 90% of the movies.
And if you
for real.
When the pandemic hit, China, like, remember how the stock market went? China bought it. They gobbled us up.
Well, you know what happened with China,
got
right?
Heavy.
If you look at the death tolls, they have 0.
Oh yeah, they
didn't report it.
No,
they said we're not reporting. Fuck y'all.
No, I think
we're reporting it to y'all for like fuck y'all. Y'all can report the deaths. We don't have no deaths.
I don't know.
The pandemic's over. That's what they said.
No, and now you got to deal with the hot water because whether it was man made or or whatever, and
that's a whole nother conversation.
It is that's for a whole other thing.
That's a whole other conversation.
But I think the way that you start is by people talking. And
you're right.
It's a shame. I think you and I we have a good rapport. Like we don't argue. We don't. You know what I mean? There's always a line of like respect and everything. But I don't see that online, and I think
with me.
No, I'm with other people. With other people, and I think because there is a misconception. People look at you and they think something, and and same for me. But I think black and white people can have conversations and not
right. I will
eat
tell
each
you,
other's face
I
off.
swear to God, I want to say this to you, right?
Oh God, is it bad?
No. Check it out, right? Okay, so I'll meet you online. Right? I've never seen you.
No, this is our first time meeting, by the way.
Right? Check it out, right? I didn't think that you had tattoos.
Really?
I thought that you were a white girl.
See, that's
prissy,
what I usually get.
Like really prissy, like pretty,
well,
like
thank
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a valley girl.
A typical white girl.
No, not typical.
A typical
valley.
Blonde, yes, a
valley
typical
girl.
blonde-haired, green-eyed white girl. I get that all the time.
Silly.
Well, I am silly, but
you know what I'm saying? Now that I meet you, right? You a whole different type of person.
Never would have expected.
Right?
Never.
You're a whole different type of person.
I am.
Like it's not that like you. To me, you're still a Caucasian woman, but your mentality is different from what I perceived you to be, and that's the problem with I think.
Yes.
With society now, is we never have a sit down and talk.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Because if people sat down and talked to me.
They
wouldn't know that I don't hate all black women.
No, and I think
you get what I'm saying?
I do, and that's why I said in the beginning. I think people misinterpret. It kind of comes off a certain way, and the way you said you looked at me and you thought I was this like. People think that all the time, and so I open my mouth and they hear me talk.
Because words don't describe emotions.
Word means nothing nowadays.
It don't describe emotions. You can't tell. Like I can say shut up to somebody online. Right, and they'd be like, "Don't be disrespecting me," but it could be like, "Shut up."
Yeah, there's no tone. Like, you can't sense tone. There's
no feeling behind.
Exactly, you cannot sense tone in text, and that's why you have people online that are like, somebody's selling a pair of Nikes, and they might have a scuff of, "Oh, you selling that shit?" Like, people just think they can say and do whatever they want and get away with it, and this dude Matt Laura proved. Today is not the day and age to just say and do whatever you want. So,
hey man, look, this is an excellent show. Torture Talk.
Did we have anybody watching?
A lot of people was watching.
Is it okay? Cool.
So,
I know we drove people nuts because we were bouncing all over the place and getting on. We need to have a more structured podcast. But
I love this type of. I love this because you can say and we could just talk, and that's I like conversation. I kind of knew that me and you was gonna have a great conversation.
I like conversation and I like healthy debates because you can debate, you can have constructive criticism and things like that. You can have a conversation. We didn't agree on everything, but you weren't calling me names. I wasn't calling. You know what I mean?
Next time you come, we're gonna have a debate.
Oh, what should we be? Should we let people pick what it wants to be on? Because we hit on a lot of stuff.
I want to debate. What is better for a black man, a white woman or a black woman? And don't say individually. Everybody's different.
Actually, I'll give you my answer, and then we'll explain on the next post.
Okay.
A black woman is much better for a black man, just like a Hispanic woman is.
Okay. So you saying, so you're a segregationist, huh?
I knew you were going to say
joking.
some dumb shit like that.
Yeah,
No, but I believe when it comes to having a healthy relationship, you have to have some commonality. And a white woman is never going to understand a black man's struggle, but a black woman is going to understand.
But what if that black man ain't struggle?
Oh, what, like the black men that the black community makes fun of for being white? But you did struggle.
No, I'm joking. But I'm saying, what if he never struggled? What if he was born in Calabasas and his family was from Calabasas and they wasn't struggle? What if his family was rich?
Then he's a black man that didn't know struggle.
Yeah. Would a white woman understand him?
Would a black man that didn't know struggle choose a black woman that has known struggle?
Probably
I think
not.
he would be intimidated by that black woman. Exactly.
Why does it have to be intimidation? And see, we gotta stop
Because
because I'm really gonna go into that.
Oh, listen,
like we got stuff. So next time we'll talk about that.
But my answer to that is a black woman.
She's a segregationist, everybody. I can't believe this. I got a segregationist. No, I'm joking.
Listen, I am sweating.